Welcome to the late night boxing talks. It's late and it's time for boxing. Man, I'll let the list populate. That was a very ho-hum card yesterday. The bar of standard for what passes as a box office fight has greatly diminished over the years. Box office fights really should be reserved in an ideal world for fights that there's actually a demand for. I say that all the time. And the powers that be aren't stupid. They know which fights there's a palpable demand for and which fights there isn't a palpable demand for. And they're kind of subsidizing the effort with pay-per-views, satisfying the financial demands of the fighters without dipping into the budget, sticking fights that don't really belong on pay-per-view. Like yesterday's fight, I didn't think that Davis versus Garcia was a bad fight. It was an interesting fight. And the aesthetic wasn't half bad. I mean, to be honest, it had its moments where it was entertaining. But just the act of it being mildly entertaining doesn't mean it should cost anyone $75. Castro was good. Michael was good. Jay Flint was good. Ish Crazy was good. Saludo, que lo que, mi gente. And, just the act of a fight being mildly interesting. You have to look across the landscape and realize that you get mildly interesting fights that don't come with that price tag. So, if you're trying to keep up with the Joneses and you're trying to compete, there's always going to be a cap. There's always going to be a large group of people that are going to look at that price tag and say, well, why would I pay that when I might get Lomachenko versus Haney for no extra charge? And you're not going to convince people that, there's more intrigue and association with a Davis versus Garcia versus a Haney versus Lomachenko. Haney versus Lomachenko is by far and wide a better fight. And if Bob Arum has his way and it doesn't end up on pay-per-view, credit to him, because that's satisfying what the fans want. It would help him and Top Rank satisfy their broadcast partner, getting good metrics for content that they're delivering. Molly Watt was good. You know what I mean? Something's going to have to change. Like, I don't really think that can continue to be the common practice to where, you just stick it on pay-per-view and just hope for the best. Eventually, they're going to have to do better. The saving grace is that not everybody's doing this, Not everybody's doing that. DAZN isn't really doing that. The pay-per-views that they do primarily are Canelo fights and Joshua fights. That aside, most of what you get on the platform isn't pay-per-view. Top Rank certainly doesn't do very many pay-per-views. I think they only did one last year, and that was Fury versus White. You know what I mean? And they learned their lesson, because you see what Bob is saying now, that they're trying to keep as many fights off pay-per-view as possible. That's the way you got to do it in this economy, because people just ain't got the money to be spending that every weekend. I wonder if they'll have the pay-per-view numbers by Tuesday. Probably not. I wonder what the pay-per-view numbers are going to be. Are they going to be better than the Romero fight? Are they going to be worse? Are they going to be Isaac Cruz numbers? I wonder too. But the days of doing 500,000 or the days of doing 1 million, those days are over unless it's a genuine, bona fide super fight. The well is drying up. Yeah, I mean, it's that simple. Yeah, Michael, Tank did 5 million yesterday, bro, in illegal streams. Oh, snap. Yeah, that was a tune-up card, bro. That's the kind of card to where if they would have had it on regular Showtime, I think they probably could have pulled in 1 million views or a little over on regular Showtime, because it had Andrade and Ellis and Ennis. They probably could have did that, but you get the sense that because it's on pay-per-view, what they're doing is subsidizing the effort by hoping that the fans will foot the bill for the fight to satisfy the financial demands of the fighters and offset the operational costs. Because by all rights, they have to know that there's not a big market for any of those fights that were on that card. They have to know that. They're not stupid. They don't live under a rock. I mean, that was basically a card full of tune-up fights. And one of the more interesting aspects of that card, at least for me, is what happens with Andrade moving forward, because the story is he doesn't have a multi-fight deal with the PBC. So that means that they don't necessarily have a commitment to him, to promoting him and getting him fights. And that just makes it all the more mediocre, too, because the fact that you could have fought Janibek in a one-fight deal like the one you just had, and you likely would have made more money. There's no way somebody's going to convince me that he made more at the top of the show, the top of the main card, than he would have made headlining his own show with Janibek. He probably could have beat him, too. There's no way. I saw comments declaring Tank some kind of hero for stopping the fight to check on his family. It amazes me that people can be that. Yeah, it amazes me too, bro. It amazes me too. But I think that boxing fans, and I said this to Base the Kid earlier today, we corresponded on Twitter, that boxing fans are the dumbest boxing fans are the dumbest sports fans in all of organized sports. No one is more irrational and obtuse than a boxing fan, because most other sports are governed by statistics, facts, and stats that are very much irrefutable. You know who the best player in a league is. You'll know who the best player in the NBA or the best players, the best teams in the NBA, the MLB, the NHL. Whereas there are people out there that they don't actually want boxing to have that hierarchy because their favorite fighter isn't moving a certain way. There are people out there that don't want Devin Haney, for example, to be accepted as the authority at lightweight on the premise that Gervonta Davis supposedly has more marquee value. But having more marquee value does not mean that you're number one in a division. Maybe you could be like a little low-budget cash cow. I don't even consider him a cash cow, because if he really were, he would be able to bankroll all of those fights and bring all of those fighters to him. The fact that he can't bankroll those fights, remember what Leonard said, that, Haney was making great money at Matchroom, and we're not going to give him that. We got to pay you what you weigh. That already told you right then and there that, look, whatever Davis is making, it's not enough to make certain fights happen. And that's why you fighting Isaac Cruz's and Hector Garcia's and Gamboa's. We'll see if he fights Ryan, I said that I like that fight. That's an intriguing fight, but there's a lot of skepticism associated with that fight. Not everybody really believes that fight is going to happen because, in boxing, sometimes when things look like they're too good to be true, they usually are. So, you know what I mean? What's good, Isawab? Yeah, I agree with you, Sur. I agree with you. U.S. sports fans, they're really stupid and annoying. I don't understand why people have to be so stupid, And, that was just a glorified tune-up fight. That was just a cut above a showbox. That was just a cut above showbox. Camilo, que lo que, manín? Ya tu sabes. That should have been Chris Colbert last night, but it was a cherry pick gone wrong versus Hector. Didn't realize he brought Hector up to 130 on 3 weeks' notice for their fight. No, I mean, it wasn't really 3 weeks' notice. It was planned ahead. But the fact is, it's like, this is why I say that Gervonta Davis's fans, for example, are obtuse. When you run down an itemized list of the people that he's fought as a lightweight, a journeyman in Hector in Yuriorkis Gamboa, an unproven commodity in Isaac Cruz, an unproven guy who really didn't beat anyone worth beating at lightweight in Rolly Romero, and now Hector Garcia. Not a lightweight, a super featherweight. A champion, yes, but not a lightweight champion, a super featherweight champion. They try to delineate the structure of boxing that, weight classes, they do matter. And what you do in a given weight class, it does matter. You might have been hot shit at one weight and you might not be that great at another. It doesn't always carry over. And that's why fighting a Hector, for example, at 135, when we all know he's really from 130, that certainly can't make you the best lightweight in the world. I had a guy on Twitter tell me today that Gamboa isn't chinny. He has one of the best chins in boxing. And I'm like, I can't believe my eyes that somebody would say that. Karma doubts that Ryan versus Tank happens. Like I said, it's a fight that's too good to be true. It seems a little bit too good to be true, to be completely honest. But we'll see. I'm not hoping that the fight doesn't happen. I hope it does happen. But with boxing being the way it is, that, shit just always happens. I mean, look at what happened to Ortiz and Stanionis. I was really looking forward to that. That was one of the few fights at 147 that I was like, all right, I like this shit. And nope, appendicitis. I don't even believe that shit. I don't believe none of that shit. Motherfucker could say what they want about me, but I don't believe that shit. That shit is too convenient. Why you couldn't have had appendicitis a couple of weeks ago, bro? It got to happen right around the time you got to fight this dude, right? All this shit just got to go wrong at the right time. All this shit got to go wrong at the right time. I don't believe shit. I didn't believe Charlo injury. I didn't believe Andrade injury. I don't believe Stanionis had appendicitis. I don't believe it. When Ryan pulls out of a fight, I don't believe him. Mental health, what mental health? Do you have a psychiatrist, a psychologist? Nah, right? So what we talking about? I don't believe that shit. I don't be believing shit. Ryan ain't going to be champion or be a reigning one because he ain't built for it. I agree with you, bro. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes his whole career and doesn't ever see himself become a champion, because he's playing a stupid game to where he thinks he's above that. And he doesn't realize it now, that the gravity of that, if he goes his whole career having never been a champion, when he gets older and he sees what some of his contemporaries did and how they are being remembered, if he goes his whole career without that year mark, he's going to regret it. Young people, you can't tell young people about regret, because when they're young, they think they're invincible and they think they know it all. And regret slowly creeps up. Slowly. He's going to regret if he doesn't see himself become a champion and he never receives that classification, that qualification, that when they talking about the Hall of Fame and you ain't in it, and when they talking about all the badass fighters, all the great guys from this era, that they ain't going to be talking about you. They might be talking about Shakur. They might be talking about Devin. They might be talking about Loma or Usyk or these people, but they ain't going to be talking about you. You see what I mean? It's going to hit you. They're like, yo, I really wasn't all that. Like, people really didn't think I was all that, because the bulk of your fame isn't actually even due to boxing. It's due to Instagram. Shout out to my man Edwin Castillo. Saludos, Jules. Keep grinding. Hit the likes, y'all. Yeah, that's right, y'all. Y'all hit the motherfucking likes for the motherfucking algorithm. You know what I mean? Brunch Brothers was goody, bro. Timmy Nealon, what it do? And yeah, like, he's hiding behind his marquee value because he knows he's worth some money. He knows that he has some sponsorships. He knows that he has a large social media following. But how long are you going to ride that scooter? How long? And what relevance is any of that anyway to your legacy as a pugilist? And what I see is he doesn't really want a legacy. You know what I mean? Like, bruh, your Moby Dick is fighting Javante, who really ain't even... You know what I mean? It's a lot of people that are working very hard and spinning a lot of yarns and a lot of hyperbole to make him seem like, look, if he could get people to buy tickets to his fight, and if there are at least enough people that want to purchase his pay-per-views to put some money in his pocket. But I could tell you that his celebrity versus the celebrity of fighters of yesteryear, his celebrity now compared to theirs, it's not even close. Like, nah. You obviously ain't Floyd because you ain't doing the numbers that Floyd did. So you obviously ain't Floyd, but you ain't Manny neither. You ain't Oscar. You ain't Felix. Like, nah, you definitely ain't no Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson was doing ridiculous numbers for his era. You're just happy with the little bit of success that you have, and which is cool. If that's enough for you, it's cool. But it's when people try to inflate that. They're like, yo, you want him to be more than what he is. At his base, he knows what he's doing. His team know what they're doing. But you want guys like me to look at him like something that he ain't, and that's not going to happen. because it's a whole lightweight division with good guys to fight, and you over here fighting super featherweights. Why would I rate you for fighting a super featherweight at lightweight? Should I rate Ryan for fighting Fortuna at super lightweight? Nah, right? So then what we talking about? I was goody low key. Did Tank sell out Capital One? They said, I mean, he might have. It was close to Capital One is close enough to Baltimore, Maryland, that his fans and all his folk could drive down there and just, bug out. We seen Gary Russell. I think he was having a altercation with Meek Mill, more goofy shit, just more goofy, outdated behaviors and shit. Motherfuckers can't just sit down and want to fight. No, motherfuckers can't just sit down and watch a fight. Motherfucker got to start some shit. It's like, bro, grow up, bro. Grow the fuck up, bro. That shit is played. All that shit you doing, all that rah-rah shit you doing is played, bro. The fuck you look like getting into some shit? The fuck y'all look like getting into some shit with each other anyway? Enjoy the fucking fight, man. Enjoy the fight. Goofy ass shit. Yeah, Gary got like a hater face. Like, he just looked like he be hating on motherfuckers. But then again, when you get beat by a dude that's 0-1, I'll be mad too. Motherfuckers love shitting on Lomachenko, right? They love shitting on him. He's a hype job. But what does that make Gary? He lost to a dude that had 1 win and 1 loss. So if you telling me that he's a hype job, Gary just must be trash, like super garbage. You lost to a dude that was 1-1, coming off a loss in his last fight. Also, you must just be super trash. Because if that's the narrative you giving me, that he's a hype job, well, the hype job beat him when he only had like 2 fights. He was 1-1. So what does that make him? Oh, he's special? No, he not. Real boxing fans like us want Tank to prove what people say he is. That's all. Ain't no hard feelings. Tank said, like nobody asking him to do something that we not asking other fighters to do. Like, look, for example, for a long time we wanted Haney to fight Lomachenko. Well, that's what he about to do. You know what I mean? That's what he about to do. No fuss, no muss. But before that, what was the conversation? We wanted Tank to fight Lomachenko. Ain't nobody asking him to do some shit that we ain't asking everybody else to do. Ain't nobody asking him to do no shit. In other words, nobody's setting the bar so high for him that these things can't happen. The problem is that motherfuckers is tired of the excuses. Remember, Devin was with Matchroom. But he did what he had to do to make the fights. And if you ask Javante to do that, motherfuckers gonna accuse you of, oh, you hating. You hating. Oh, fucking grade school ass shit. Ain't hating, bro. You just eat a lot of dick, bro. Your generation is gonna be known as the dick eaters. The flaming dick eaters that eat mad fucking dick with a knife and fork. Fucking idol worshippers and shit. They think it's crazy to act. Yo, facts, my guy. Like, they acting like we told him to part the Red Sea or to climb Mount Kilimanjaro or Mount Everest. No, we asked you to fight Loma years ago. You ain't want to do it. Lopez did it. Haney about to do it. You the one that ain't want to know. That's what I'm always going to remember him for that. That you ain't want to know, bruh. You out here fighting super featherweights at lightweight, featherweights at super featherweight. Man, get out of here, man. That shit don't even make sense. Y'all want people to look at Tank as if he did what Devin did. Devin wanted all the belts because he know what that shit mean. It's not just about right now. Y'all, I think that this generation's problem is that they in the right now. They don't really think about the future. That Devin, just off of being undisputed, that puts him in a very short list of people because not everybody goes undisputed. It's a lot of champions. It's a whole lot of champions. It ain't a whole lot of undisputed champions. That's a much shorter list. And he did that at what, 23? But you can't ask Tank to fight Loma, though. Nah. I'd rather fight Gamboa. I'd rather fight Isaac Cruz. I'd rather fight Rolly Wonton Soup. Shit don't make no motherfucking sense. It don't make no sense. You know what I mean? But I don't expect him to fight anyone. Like, I don't. Like, as a consumer who has a good idea what fights are going to happen and what fights aren't going to happen, I don't think he's ever going to fight Shakur. I don't think he's ever going to. I don't know. Like, I could kind of see a way for him to fight Devin, but it's all talk. Like, he stayed talking to people. Like, he was talking about Loma and talking about Farmer, and he'd be talking about. And don't fight none of them, though. Like, you fighting Hector Garcia, fam. Who the fuck? You know what I mean? Shout out to my man Cheddar Bob. Main event was fixed. Tank was losing easily, so they paused the fight, which never happened in boxing history. They wanted to disrupt Hector's momentum. It was something, bro, because it's not that fights haven't been stopped because of altercations. Because remember when Fan Man landed in the shit in Holyfield versus whatchamacallit, the fight did get stopped. Like, they did stop. And it's just, that shit was just weird, man. That shit was just weird. And the three judges only gave Hector a round. I gave Hector at least 4 rounds. I ain't even saying you didn't have to have him up. But the fact that they only had him winning 1 round, all 3 of the judges, I had him winning at least 4 rounds. Like, bro, like, what's the point in even watching this shit, B? Like, this shit is WWE like crazy, bro. What is the point of even watching that shit? Like, y'all really just, y'all make me not want to watch that shit. That shit, when you see that shit, see, that's why I like Matchroom, and y'all can say what y'all want about me, but at least in Matchroom, I know that the cash cow ain't safe. The cash cow ain't safe. The house fighter is not safe. I know that if I watch a Matchroom show. Anthony Joshua got beat on the cards by Usyk. He got beat on the cards. You know what I mean? It wasn't like he knocked dude out and took it out the judge's hands. He got beat on the cards. You know what I mean? Shout out to Eddie Hearn. I ain't even playing. Like, as a consumer, I appreciate a Matchroom show because I know that ain't nobody safe. You're not safe. Anything can happen, which is why we watch. That's why we watch, because we trying to see a contest. We're not trying to see you sell a dream, sell a lifestyle, sell the culture. I don't care about none of that shit. I just want to see a contest. And when I be watching these shits, I just be feeling like, yo, this shit is not even really a contest, B. Push come to shove, ain't no motherfucking way you winning the decision. Push come to shove. Ain't no way. Yo, that's how I had it, Carme, but the judges didn't have it that way. And that's what makes me not want to watch. Like, what's the point in watching, bro? Like, I saw him win at least 4 rounds. At least. And I'm saying at least because you know what? It could have been 5. But I seen him win at least 4. At least 4. And then when you see the judges' scorecards, you like, yo, they really only had Hector winning 1 round. So what the fuck? So, like, why we even watching then, though? What's the point? Why we watching? They wasn't gonna let that, irrespective of whatever, they wasn't gonna let that man win no decision. That shit don't make no sense, man. I'm about to post the link in the chitty chat for y'all to hop on. It just doesn't make sense to watch that shit, man. When I seen them scorecards, it kind of reminded me that, like, yo, why am I watching this shit, bro? Ain't no way, like, this shit WCW than a motherfucker be. Like, not that, remember, I picked Davis to knock out Hector, so it ain't sour grapes. The prediction stuck. I said, I don't think Hector has it to beat this guy. So it ain't sour grapes. It's more like the shit just looked like some Fugazi type shit, like, bro, like, this shit, like, bro, he won at least 4 rounds. Y'all gave him a round.
Yeah, I saw him watching. I saw him actually outboxing Tank from range, controlling the range and everything. And he wasn't being like, you know, the plotter that he usually is. He was outboxing Tank. He was keeping the jab in Tank face. He would land a occasional left hand. But you know what spelled trouble for me, Julius, was this: when he wasn't moving his legs. And I understand that's not his style, but Tank was catching him a couple with some shit that, you know, only if he would have just, you know, took a half step back. He didn't even have to move too far away from him. He could have stiff armed him. But like outside of that, man, he was keeping that jab in Tank's face.
I'm gonna say this. I didn't mind that he was a little bit stationary with the jab, because my thing was, if he steps into the jab, if he used a step jab and come forward, you closer to the counter. So the fact that he held his position and jabbed from there, I'm like, okay. And then you see, like, round 2, 3, he'll take that half step back and come over with some shit, which is like, all right, so you maintaining distance. I think what spelled trouble is when he started being in the pocket with Davis. That after a while, you see, okay, Davis is changing levels and he trying to get in. Like, he not trying to jab his way in no more because he see he could get countered. So then what he do is he change levels, start slipping, and instead of moving, motherfucking Garcia sold out. Like, okay, we going to trade in the pocket. Nah, you had it with the jab, bro. Stay on that jab. So you know. It is what it is, man. I didn't expect Hector to win anyway, but that shit just looked mad fugazi.
So what happened?
Julius, can you hear me? Can you hear me all right?
Yeah.
Because I missed the hold up, Chris, because I missed the I didn't even bother, because after I jumped off, I went to work. It's like, I'm not even gonna bother with this because I don't think Hector's gonna win. But I'm hearing it was a close fight, and he won 4 of the rounds, and the judges had him up the other. And it's like you said, it's like he wasn't gonna win regardless of what he did. I mean,
bro, look, it was 8 rounds, and they only gave Hector 1. But yo, I had this dude, and not just me. Look around, not just me. Forget me, because motherfucker ain't gotta believe me. But yo, that motherfucker won at least 4 rounds. B, just ask around, and I'm like, out of 8 rounds, y'all gave him 1. Come on, B. Like, this shit ain't even. I shouldn't even bother watching this shit. Then, like, really, like, what's the point? All I'm gonna say is, hey, if you pay for that shit,
I streamed the fuck out of that shit. I ain't gonna hold you. I was on TikTok yesterday streaming the fuck out. But you know, I got so tired, like literally, I just like, yo, this shit is boring as fuck. I went to sleep. It was
highlight of the night, gentlemen. Boots went the distance with Karen.
Man, I ain't you know what? Listen, Jay, I ain't even gonna talk about that shit because I just did a segment on that shit, right? Okay. And I had to really get my thoughts out, because I'm like, one thing I hate about most boxing, because they don't just do it in America, but I really do see it happens more in America than in UK. Because I remember Beats wasn't sold on Daniel Dubois. A lot of motherfuckers believe this shit, but Beats did not believe that shit. And I talked to a couple motherfuckers that are like, nah, B, that dude gonna get got. Whereas Boots gotta be the king of the welterweights, ain't fought shit. Ain't fought shit. He's already the king of the welt. Like, man, if you don't get off his fucking dick, God, really though, like.
Hey, look.
He's not bad, though.
I ain't say he was bad, but I'm not saying that he bad by saying that he ain't the king.
I feel you. You're right. But this is what I saw. This is what I saw yesterday. I saw a guy that, you know, used beautiful movement, but that movement...
Bro, that's the other thing. No. Let's not do that. Chukatsian's movement wasn't beautiful. It was awkward. And the reason that he was able to last was because he did not fight at all. Like, he did not fight. So when you in there surviving, you hear it all the time. It's hard to knock a dude out when he in survival mode. Well, that's the mode he was in the whole fight.
Well, okay, but here's a counterpoint to that though. All Boots had to do was cut the ring off.
True.
That's all he had to do to beat
Why
Ken.
couldn't he? Why couldn't he?
So here's the thing. Like the first look at the end of the second round, that shit was funny because Boots pump faked him and fucking Karen looked like a sheep in headlight. That was funny. But like throughout the entire fight, it was obvious. All you had to do just cut him off and knock him out. Like there was no reason that fight should have gone the distance because I watched one of Karen's fights. In advance, I was like, okay, yeah, he's got awful, like his technique is horrid. Like honest to God, like I was not expecting Karen to win a single round, but the fact that he went the distance, that is just disappointing. Because
I'm gonna say this: that if every guy this is the thing. This is why I'm not on the let's hype up Chukatsian thing. If every guy implemented that strategy to where they're only gonna fight half a fight, they wouldn't get knocked out. Because you're not fighting, you're surviving, and your goal is not even fighting, it's surviving. You're not trying to win rounds. So if every guy did that, they'd end up doing a Chukatsian. That's what would happen. But obviously, we're not here for that. We here to see you fight. And you're really not fighting. You pivoting, you shifting, you bobbing, you weaving, you slipping. You're doing a lot of shit.
That's
you ain't fighting.
Outside of throwing and landing punches.
And last I check is hit and not get hit. Not get hit and not get hit, which is what he did. He ain't get hit, but he ain't hit neither.
I ain't gonna hold you. I was bugging. He ran more than Sandor Martin, bro. I was bugging on that.
There you go.
He ran more than Sandor Martin.
There you go.
He pulled a Russell versus Magsayo. Like you can be defensively minded, but if you don't throw anything and you look like you're not doing anything, they're not going to give you the points.
Yeah, like there's ways that that you go about setting the trap to where you're still the ring general. That you make the guy follow you, right? There's ways to set the trap. But what he was doing was just pivoting around a jab, and an occasional 1-2 every once in a blue moon. It wasn't really, I'm trying to win this round. You clearly wasn't, bro. Anybody could have scored that fight because you clearly wasn't trying to win no rounds.
Well, I don't want to see him fight again. I don't know about y'all.
Hell, motherfucking no. And I don't want motherfuckers telling me about Chukatsu. Don't do that, bro. Fuck that.
Kareem was a 2-star fighter leading up to this fight. He is a 2-star fighter after this fight. I bet you no one on this panel in most of America can tell me 2 fights that Chukatsian had.
I can't. I really can't.
Exactly. I'm Ukrainian. I can't even tell it. I've only seen one of his fights. He is a 2-star fighter through and through. The reality is, the only reason I'm harsh on Boots is because if everyone's gonna hype him up as the second coming of Roy Jones Jr., this pound for pound 1-star, then I have to rate him as a pound for pound fighter, and that is not how a pound for pound fighter fights.
And I brought it up in the weekend live that both Virgil and Boots, they had to fight moving targets in their last fight. Michael McKinson is a moving target and he's a southpaw. He beat them feet. He moved. And Virgil was able to stay in character. He got the motherfucker out of there. And I'm not playing. If you put Karen in there with Virgil, that fight don't go 12 rounds.
Nope.
It don't. It don't go 12 rounds.
I'm going to say that, bro. I'm going to say that. I agree with you. But I'm also going to say this, though. I think Karen's defense is better than Michael McKinson.
Bullshit.
What the fuck are you talking about?
In what way? I'm trying to tell you that you saying Chris, you saying that because Boots missed. That's why you saying that, because Boots missed. And I'm telling you that Boots cannot be a yardstick. Why? Because you the one that's supposed to be proving something. So if a motherfucker go in there and look good with you, you ain't proving shit, and neither is he, because neither one of y'all did nothing. Neither one of y'all.
That's a fact. I agree.
Plus, Mike. Sorry.
What kills me about Boots, bro, is the people that criticize Crawford's resume and hate on him, they're the same dudes hyping up Boots and he's a killer, he's going to take over the division. I'm like, surely if you think Crawford's resume is poor or his accomplishments are questionable, then what the fuck has Boots done in 30 plus fights?
Thank you. I'm glad you brought that up, because this is my thing. Terrence Crawford beat Thomas Dulorme years ago at 140. They'll tell you
version too.
A better version, right? He beat that dude years ago when it actually meant something. And people will tell you, well, he ain't fought nobody. Same motherfuckers is high on Boots, though, for beating who? Thomas Dulorme?
Jules, I think, as I put in the in your early relay after the review, if Crawford fought a Eurobum, at least he knocked his Eurobum out.
That's all I'm saying. And he fought a higher rated Euro.
Exactly.
Right? He fought a higher rated Euro bum.
Funniest shit I saw afterwards was like how this I swear to God, after that fight, Chukatsian became a killer. I swear to God, I saw someone say Chukatsian had better everything than Avanesian. I'm like, bruh.
Yo, because they'll say anything, bro. They'll say anything. I won't say that. I won't say that. This is the thing. Unless you competing, this is at least how I do it. Unless you competing on the same level as the other guy, I don't give a fuck what I see. Now I seen David Avanesian go in there with Josh Kelly. You know, I seen that. You see what I mean? So I know where he at. Karen, you ain't fought shit. You have not fought shit. So regardless of what I'm saying, how you gonna look when you in there with somebody? And we see how you gonna look. You ain't gonna fight. That don't mean you got special footwork. That means that he needs experience and you're limited. That you can't fight on the fly. It was a dude on the live last night that said, "Oh, Chukatsian got better feet than Crawford." And yo, dog, my brain almost exploded.
Yo, bro, I ain't never say that. I ain't never see some shit like that. That's crazy.
Chukatsian's best win, for those who are unfamiliar with him, because I did a little bit of research afterwards, it was Sergey Vorobov, and he was a 4-star fighter back in 2020 it was in Kaliningrad. Like, the reality is his best win was 4 years ago, and everything afterwards were 2-star fighters. His last fight, the one I saw, was Blake Minto, and he looked unimpressive then as he did in the Boots fight.
Well, I'll give this to Karate Body. That's a very good question, because I like that question because it addresses styles making fights. Now, Karate asks, with Virgil's style playing into what Ennis needs to look good, how do you think that fight plays out with what we know from both guys so far? Now, what's Virgil? Virgil is a pressure fighter. That's what he is.
He's a dog, yeah.
He's a dog, but he is a pressure fighter. What's Boots? He's a boxer puncher. He ain't no pure boxer. He ain't gonna stay on his bike all night. He's trying to knock you out, but he's not crude like a pressure fighter. That's why he looked like that. That was boxer puncher yesterday, right? And I always put this up on a diagram. The boxer puncher will sometimes struggle with the pure boxer, even if he's like a D-level pure boxer. Why? Because the pure boxer gonna fight to survive, not to win. They mostly gonna try to survive. If they gotta spend the whole fight on their bike, that's what they're gonna do. And that's what we saw. That, like, you trying to hit him, you throwing single jabs. And because the single jabs ain't always landing, you don't always bring over the backhand. When you do bring over the backhand, he ride it and then he get out of there. He don't even try to counter. He just ride it and get out of there. And it was monotonous as fuck. Now, he won on volume. He won on activity. But did he look good? Nah. To answer this question, does Boots have a stylistic advantage over Virgil? Perhaps, but we won't know for sure because y'all not competing at the same level. The people that he fighting and the people that you fighting, the people you fighting suck. They do. They suck.
Agree.
So I think that Virgil is going to go into that fight with the advantage of having fought better opposition and having fought more often.
That's the main thing, that you could have a stylistic advantage like what I see about Yard and Beterbiev, for example, which is a great fight. Shout out to Frank Warren. Believe it or not, Yard has a stylistic advantage. The problem is the level at which you compete. You fought nobody.
You fought nobody.
Like, you ain't fought shit. And when you did fight some shit, you lost. So you might be, let's say you're a C-level boxer puncher, and Artur is a B-level pressure fighter. He'll beat you. He might struggle, but he'll beat you. You got the right style, but you ain't got all the right tools. You ain't got all the right ingredients. You missing a couple of things. So you don't have the right tools.
You don't have the right seasoning.
That souffle is not done, bro. That souffle is not done.
That's a fact. So, like, because what you guys are saying, I have to agree, because Boots don't have a Kavalauskas on his record. Boots don't have a fucking Virgil was going to fight Avanesian, but let's look at it. Golden Boy, with the least amount of resources, was able to get Kavalauskas, fucking
Mighty Mo Hooker. They got Hooker. They got Orozco. They got Salcedo. They got him some
Herrera.
fighters. And this the other shit. This the other shit. That motherfuckers just wanted Mean Machine to be trash because they say so. But Chukatsi and it's supposed to be some shit? Make it make sense.
Again,
hold on. Off top, when he was an unbeaten fighter, he just ain't shit. He just ain't shit. Just off top, just because Crawford was fighting him. But Chukatsi and some shit? That man already had an L.
Yeah.
Early in his career too.
Mean Machine beats Karen, by the way.
Say that shit again.
I said Mean Machine beats Karen. Everybody knows that. We know that.
I know that. I know that's right. Say that shit again, Jay.
Mean Machine beats Karen.
No, that's right. Lithuania in this bitch.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I think styles make fights, but I think Virgil, even though some people would argue that he's more tailor-made as far as stylistically, I'd also argue he probably brings 100 times more danger, skill, punching power, like speed and ring IQ. So even though his style might favor Boots more, he also brings more dangerous elements as well, not just,
We don't.
Is that you, Jimmy? Is that you, Jimmy?
Jimmy's point. This is why styles are important. But this is beyond the styles. We don't yet know what Boots is missing because you're not fighting shit. We're not gonna know. We don't know how well you take a punch because you're not fighting no punches. So we literally don't know. We don't know if you chinny. We don't know. I see him get hit. Between the shots, but it's against guys that really don't crack. So it's like, well, yeah, you could probably get hit by Lipinets, Yeah, you could probably get hit by Karen Pikachu or Chicharron, but I don't know if you could get hit by a Mean Machine. Can we see that? Can we see you versus Butaev? Can we see that? You know what I mean?
Well, Boots can't really cut off the ring like that, apparently.
No, he really can't.
That's killing Boots. Inactivity. I don't know why he's on a schedule where he's fighting once every damn near year, because this guy was quite active back in the day, but now it's just, I don't know what's going on with him. It's probably the PBC schedule, I guess.
Shout out to my man. Tim Gallegos. I appreciate the Cash App donation. You didn't have to, but you did, and I appreciate it.
Well, on the bright side, fellas, Spencer. What up, country? By the way, Spence will probably fight him now.
Probably,
hey, question. Did you guys see that tweet from Devin Haney where he said, I've never seen
shit, Al got him.
You forgot to say all hail the mighty LDBC, that's why.
Whoever eating cereal and shit on their mic, fix that shit up. I hear crackling and crunching and all that shit. I know what that is. Somebody headphones is rubbing up against their collar. I know what that shit is. I'm trying to find this fucking diagram, B. Because this is the shit. This is my go-to shit.
Can you guys hear me, though?
Yeah, I can hear you. This is my go-to shit. There you go. There's my go-to shit.
Did you guys see that tweet from Devin Haney where he was saying he never saw a referee stop a boxing match for a fight in the audience before?
Bro, the PBC is a fucking circus, bro. That shit is not even real boxing. Like, to be real with you. When I watch that shit, I just have this feeling that I'm not watching like a real for real fight.
Yeah, that was crazy.
So
man. I mean, even Devin Haney said that though, because we all brought that up. I know I did, and even Devin Haney said that. So I mean, he's a professional fighter. That tells you something,
Bro, all that shit is fugazi over there.
Yeah, big time.
Now this is my diagram that I like to use, right? This is my diagram that I like to use because it's the most literal iteration. Boxer puncher beats pressure fighter usually beats pure boxer usually beats boxer puncher. Now, when it happens the other way, it's usually because of the level at which they at. They're like, let's say pure boxer has a stylistic advantage against a boxer puncher, unless it's an A-level boxer puncher versus a C-level pure boxer. Then the boxer puncher might win. But if they on the same level, if it's A-level pure boxer versus A-level boxer puncher, usually the way that go, the pure boxer wins. And usually boxer puncher versus pressure fighter, if they on the same level, usually the boxer puncher wins. That's the underlying principle. And when it comes to Boots, like I said, he's a boxer puncher. That's what he looked like. He's not a pressure guy, but he's not a back foot bicycle guy neither. You know, he's kind of in the middle that he'll squeeze you and he's aggressive, but he's boxing. He's still boxing. All the work is still off the jab. And what I've seen is he's throwing single jabs out there. And because the single jab is not really landing all the time when he wanted to, he don't always bring over the backhand. And when he do bring over the backhand, the dude roll it, and then he just get out of there. He don't even try to bring over a counter shot. He just roll it and get out of there because he just don't want to get hit. He really ain't trying to win a round. He just not trying to get knocked out. So that's why he looked kind of, but right now, I can't tell you if he's a B minus or a B plus, because you're not fighting shit. You're not fighting none of this shit for me to know what are you. Are you a C level, B level, A level? You're not fighting shit. You're on the same side of the street as a lot of people, and you ain't like in other words, you shouldn't even be on that side of the street because it's not helping you. You might as well get the fuck out of there. Because it ain't like did they get you Keith Thurman? Did they get you Danny Garcia? Nah, right? We know you ain't gonna get Spence. So what we doing?
Yeah, but man. Realistically, who does he fight next? What does he do next?
Probably gonna fight Villa. Probably gonna fight Villa.
Yeah, that's what I see.
He could beat Villa.
You know, Boots
he can. He can beat Villa. He can beat Villa.
Boots looked mighty human in that fight yesterday, boy. Whew.
Damn sure did.
About myth dispelled.
Well, you know, movement. That's where you really separate the men from the boys. Is dealing with a moving target. The special fighters always can. The special fighters, they always can.
The elite guys. Yeah.
Like I remember when Mike fought Tyrell Biggs. Tyrell Biggs, he was tall for the weight. You know, he was taller than Mike at least. Long guy, Olympic background, sticks the jab, uses the jab, and he beat those feet. And Mike was a pressure fighter, mid-range to inside guy. You know what he gonna do? Side to side like a metronome, double jab sometimes just to get the guy to cover up, open up the body, ming, ming, or ming, ming. And he fucked up.
About that fight,
bro, but how he used to go to that body and come up with that uppercut,
beautiful, bro. With the same hand, bro. With the same hand, ming, ming.
Yo, about that fight against Biggs and like in the first round, Biggs was styling on Tyson for that first round.
And this is the shit. Motherfuckers act like Tyson didn't fuck. Biggs wasn't no bitch. He was the IBF mandatory. Most people not gonna remember that. He's the IBF mandatory. You had to fight him. And he had an Olympic background. He wasn't no scrub. He was somebody.
He beat Lennox Lewis in the fucking amateurs, bro. And he beat Mike Tyson in the amateurs. And bro, his route to the championship wasn't easy. That fight with David Bay, he could have easily lost that fight. A lot of people think Mike Tyson back in the 80s didn't fight shit. Like, what is Tony Tucker?
Bullshit. That's
what
bullshit.
What is Tony Tucker? What is Tyrell Biggs? Like, what the fuck? Like,
Tony Tucker, Tyrell Biggs, Pinklin Thomas, Bone Crusher Smith, Michael Spence, Pinklin Thomas. He fought a lot of motherfuckers, man. And
he fought everybody and beat who everybody he was supposed to fight and beat. That's it.
But also this, which is one of the glaring differences between this era and the previous one, is that Mike fought 8 out of the top 10. 8 motherfuckers. 8. You know how many?
Fury done that?
See what I mean?
Has Deontay Wilder done that?
8 out of the top 10, bro. 8.
Right.
The only person you can say in this generation can do that or got close to that was Anthony Joshua.
Literally.
And we only know, and all due respect to my brother.
What motherfuckers don't like to do is they homework. When he fought Brazil cracked the top 10 across the board. He had literally the divisional top 10. I'm not telling you Brazil was great. I'm telling you Joshua was green. He only had like 16 fights, and he was already fighting the top 10. Brazil was a top 10. Klitschko was a top 10 in some rank standings. Martin was a top 10. Parker was a top 10. Povetkin was a top 10. All right. Pulev was a top 10. All right. Motherfucking Ruiz, after they beat his ass, he was a top 10. Usyk was a top 10. Is a top 10. Like and that's why motherfuckers fuck with him. Cause like, look, B, you can say what the fuck you want, but it ain't no Schwartzes in there. I know that. It ain't no Schwartzes.
Ain't no Balines either.
Even Dylan White went on to become a top 5. So when AJ fought Dylan White, when they were both young and undefeated, Dylan White went on to become a top 5 heavyweight afterwards.
Exactly. And motherfuckers, the other shit is White gets shitted on just because of the Eddie Hearn shit. And I'm like, look, I ain't telling you that White is perfect. I'm saying he beat a lot of motherfuckers. He did, though. He beat Helenius. He beat Rivas. He beat Parker. He beat Chisora 2 times. I know the first one was close, but he damn sure put a stamp on it in the second one. That left hook, he pulled that shit. Yo, that left hook was from Kingston, Jamaica, B.
Nah, he put that nigga to sleep, bro.
To sleep, B.
Nobody ever slept Chisora like that. Nobody.
He hit him with the jerk chicken. He hit him with the jerk chicken left hook. Man, get out of here, B.
Not even David.
Started in Mississippi, gained momentum in Georgia.
Shit, yo. But they shit on him, and that's the other thing that like it's guys like, yo, it's this dude, man, Deb Sani. Ooh, I fucking hate him, bro. Ooh, I hope he get the
flu. That name sound familiar. That name sounds familiar.
Because he Al Heyman, because he a Frank Warren butt boy.
Okay.
Is he
on Twitter? Is he on Twitter?
He's a bad take machine, bro.
Yo, that dude is horrible, and he knows it too, which is what makes it annoying. They're like, man, why don't you just shut the fuck up? For real though, like shut the fuck. Like we already know you towing the company line, bro. Like you just wasting everybody's time with this dumb shit. But yeah, I ain't gonna.
People call Johnny Nelson, bro. People calling Johnny Nelson.
Johnny Nelson, word, my God. I thought Johnny Nelson was bad till I seen that. I'm like, what is this? That dude sucks, bro. That dude sucks, bro.
Him and Mark Ortega.
Yeah, Mark is like those guys in Rome that they used to cut their dick off and their voice to get all high. What they call it, like a eunuch? He like that shit.
He called him a
castrata.
A castrata, like so he could sing.
Castrato.
Yeah, he's a castrato because he could sing like real high because he ain't got no fucking balls, so his testosterone never came. That's him, B.
That's fucking
that motherfucker looked like Ellen. Y'all remember Ellen DeGeneres? That motherfucker looked like Ellen.
Hey, Jules,
I can kind of see Jules, you be talking so greasy. Some of these new dudes gonna have to see you.
Fuck him.
Yo, that shit is hilarious. You called him a fucking eunuch. That's OD.
Man, fuck him, B. Get him out of boxing, B. Ellen DeGeneres, Ellen Page, get the fuck out of here, bro. Yeah. Go fucking cover. What's that air shit that they came out with? That air hockey shit. What's the name of that sport? The air hockey shit that you got to be like this with the shit to move the puck. What's the name? Come on, y'all know.
Yeah, sweeping or some shit. That sweeping sport.
Canadians rock in that sport.
Yeah, right. Go cover that shit, bro. Get the fuck out of here, bro.
Curling. The Olympic sport, curling.
Curling, that's the name of that shit.
Yeah,
curling,
yeah.
Go cover curling, bro, because he
go cover that curling shit.
Yeah, go cover pink curling shit, bro. Get the fuck out of boxing, bro.
Yeah, Johnny Nelson's the worst.
I thought he was the worst till Def Sani. I thought he was. I ain't going front. I thought Johnny Nelson was the worst till Def Sani, bro.
That's what I thought as well, bro. Like in the UK, we thought Johnny Nelson was bad until fucking David came into the picture, and the dude does it with no shame. He knows he's an ass licker, and I think he's proud of it, bro. He does it.
Yeah, he likes his ass.
Bro, Jules, you got to do like a bracket, like a tournament bracket for like worst pundit in boxing.
Hey, hold up. Hey, you know who's gonna take the fucking title? Felix De Jesus and his shitty translation fucking skills.
Oh yeah, his shit is horrible.
Oh, his shit is. I think he does it on purpose as like a try to keep shit, PC, But
también he might be a Jono Sabo that he don't know how to say certain shit.
I think he's secretly Portuguese, so he only understands parts of that shit.
Yeah, like he might be a secret Jono Sabo que él no me entiende cierta palabra and he don't know the shit and he don't know the other shit like the right way because in Spanish the literal translation does not always mean the context of what you're saying. Like I said, esa mujer coño, ¿verdad? And I was talking about, I think I was talking about Rihanna, ¿verdad? Y después Google Translate, you know what it translated into? That woman, pussy. Like that's not the translation. Coño does not mean pussy. Coño is more of a damn it than pussy. But Google Translate translated the shit into that woman, pussy. Like that's not what I meant, bro.
Felix Google Translate the Jesus, bro.
For real,
yeah, he's like Popeyes. They're just gonna give you whatever they want. Like whatever you order, they don't give a fuck. They just give you what they want.
Man, that Usyk
Canelo checked his ass one time, said, no, finish the rest. Say the rest, motherfucking like.
Amanda checked him on Twitter, and he came into her comments like you know, trying to be civil, so she deleted it, but she should have kept that energy.
What he said? ¿Qué pasó?
He was just like, oh, Amanda, I'm so sorry. I'm a big fan, XYZ, like kissing ass. Like, nah, bro. Go get some Inglés sin barreras.
Esa es la otra razón. Yo no puedo. I cannot do but so many and I
so
don't
so y'all don't fuck with him because he doesn't translate the real Spanish? Like what
it's
the
because
fuck?
It's more like it's because it's like you a plastic Spanish guy, like you a Spanish guy from Family Dollar. You're not like a for real Spanish guy, like you a plastic type of Spanish guy.
But
like
what
Aldi.
if you can't say that online?
Oh shit, Al Heyman got him.
On air, the FCC regulations. Like what the
man, FCC ain't gonna do shit. It's fucking like 1 a.m, average boxing match. They ain't gonna do shit.
Man, they can't do shit about pay-per-view anyway.
Exactly. The fuck they gonna do?
Speaking of pay-per-view, I do wonder what the pay-per-view number for yesterday's fight would be.
We'll find out shortly. I estimated 10 million pay-per-view buys, bro. That was fight of my life.
I mean, hey, you know, I will say this. I understand the PBC motto now. Set their own fans' expectations so low that when you have a pay-per-view that's all tune-ups, they bust a nut.
For real.
Yeah, there was a lot of hype, bro. On different panels, there was a lot of hype that this is a mega card. I'm like, it's all showcases, bro.
Bro, people were hyped for Andrade versus, like, I saw people hyped for Andrade versus Nicholson, like that was supposed to be something. I saw people hyped for Rashidi versus Villa, and I'm so happy Villa won because I was expecting them to give it to Rashidi, honest to God. Like, I was like,
two of their showcase fights, like, they blew it with them because, like, Andrade didn't look impressive like he was supposed to, and then Rashidi just fucking lost.
Bro,
you know what this shit is? Every Andrade fight, and this is why I gotta say that, and I've said this, that like I don't know who people think they're fooling with Andrade, but Canelo would beat him. And I think that Canelo should fight him. I would actually prefer as a consumer Canelo versus Andrade than Canelo versus Bivol. Because they got the history. Shut that goofy motherfucker up already, bro. Like you wow basic. And I'm tired of people pretending that you like this fly ass shit. No, you not, fam. You look crazy yesterday. You got dropped by Nickelbag. That's crazy. Nickelbag ain't even dropped Berlanga.
Jules,
Nickelbag is crazy, bro.
Let me just say this. Andrade has this really stupid tendency that he's been doing since 160 and 154. You expend most of your energy in the first 5 rounds, and then the last 7 rounds, 6 rounds, 6, 7, however many you fight, you look like an average, you just look all average.
I'm I don't you know what this shit is? We talked about this yesterday, right? That motherfuckers don't really know what footwork is. They just see that a guy moves his feet a lot, and they think that's footwork, which is in reference to the Rashidi Ellis thing. They're like, y'all motherfuckers think Andre got great feet? Y'all crazy? That man is a knockdown waiting to happen. That's what he is. He's a knockdown waiting to happen.
He doesn't even bob even
lunge in, lunge out. That's all he got is lunge in, lunge out.
But I will say this: I remember him back earlier in his career. Like he used to bob back and forth a little bit. Like yesterday when I saw him fight, he looked like bro, you look like you were 1 foot out of boxing, man. You boxed really bad. Like, you really did look bad. Like, I get it. You won every single round. You were supposed to win every single round.
Well, it's Desmond Nick. That's like saying,
you were supposed to win.
Guess what? I wiped my ass after I took a shit.
Exactly. You were supposed to win. Like heaven forbid that was a competitive fight.
Yo, that's a
no. I mean, fellas. He won the fight, but we didn't expect him to get dropped.
Shout out to Jay.
In the Parker fight for this.
And this, you know what kills me? It's the double standard. Because motherfuckers are shit on my man, John Ryder. Why do I fuck with John Ryder? Because he had it the hard way, bro. He go in there with Callum, they don't give him the decision. You know what I mean? They don't give him the decision, even though motherfuckers know what the fuck they saw. And he like Danny Jacobs. Granted that I think they were generous, but he fought Danny Jacobs. Andre, who you fought? Jason Quigley? Who you fought?
He also fought Patrick Wilson, who was a 4-star fighter at the time. He lost to Fielding. This is true. He lost to Jack. I think it was on field. Like, he's at least had some fights on his resume. Like, I remember Nick Blackwell. He was a 4-star fighter. Like, he actually fought people.
You know what's crazy? I was thinking about, like, both Andrade and Caleb Plant. They talk shit about John Ryder, but I don't think either of them would fight John Ryder, though.
What if I told you that I'm not convinced that Andrade beats him?
I agree.
Based on what I'm seeing, because this is the thing about John.
Yeah,
I feel like John is that $2 steak. He tough and he not gonna leave you alone. So you need to find a way to deal with this little motherfucker. And what I see with Andrade is you got good straight punches, but your shits is so wide that if a motherfucker catch you, bro, you're gonna be in some shit.
No, his hooks are wide. His hooks are wide as fuck.
Wide as fuck. Like he did some crazy shit. Like I'm like, yo, bro, ain't you not getting away with that with no Canelo, my God?
Jules,
bro, I ain't gonna hold you
instead of punching, he looked like he was trying to swim.
He was like, there's some old shit.
His defense, his idea of defense is backing straight up. Come on, bro, you can't do that against
when he caught Nicholson with the last with that last knockdown, that shit was some heat. He threw like, what the fuck? Like,
nah, you see,
y'all you be landing some of them shots.
Bro, y'all don't even got like John Ryder doesn't even have to approach that fight like that. Like, real talk, if you want to approach an Andre fight, here's what you got to do: be defensive for 4 rounds, let that motherfucker tire himself out, then knock him out.
Yo, remember Liam Williams was catching him with some after the initial, just like every Andrade fight, he gets off to a fast start, he scores a knockdown, and after a while, once Liam weathered the storm, he got in that motherfucking fight, and he even hurt Andrade. I think it was around like the 8th round around there. It was after the
It was in the 9th. It was in the 9th. I remember.
And I'm like, you really trying to tell me that Canelo worried about this guy? Like, you really on some little kid shit that you gotta be, because like, bro, he ain't got nothing to worry about in that dude. I hope Canelo say, Haribo, can't fight me, Haribo, because you fucking horrible, yo.
Well, technically speaking, isn't Andre back to being a promotional free agent?
Technically, he is.
Because I believe you and a couple of other people I saw said it was a 1-fight deal. So
that's the story.
So
yeah, but bro, why walk away from the Zach Parker fight? Like, this is what kills me. Because I was a big Andrade fan, because I did think Charlo was ducking him. I did think that Gennady Golovkin was hesitant to fight him in the unification. But I'm not, bro. You still got to do something with your life, bro. You can't just sit around and keep saying Canelo's not fighting me. Like, it's been 7 years, bro. Sometimes you got to jump on the train. Like, you should have fought Zach Parker.
That's my stance, bro. That I'm like, look, you can't tell me that I didn't fight shit in a million years because Canelo. No, motherfucker, no. Danny Jacobs ended up fighting Sergey. You didn't want to fight Sergey. Danny Jacobs ended up fighting Canelo and Golovkin. Who you fought? Nah, I don't believe you, bro. I got an itemized list of fights where the motherfucker say he turned it down. You turned down Sergey, turned down Korobov, turned down Charlo, said Lara's boring. What the fuck you think you are, bro? You think we want to sit here for 10 rounds with watching you fucking waltz with Desmond Nickelbag? Nah, fam, you crazy. And you want me to look at Canelo funny because he ain't fight you when Canelo fought the people that you didn't fight. You didn't want to fight Lara, right? He fought him.
I actually know what Andre's next fight should be. It should be Berlanga. Just fight Berlanga. Because at least, Berlanga knocked down Desmond. So it's like 4 times, yeah. So he actually got you beat by 1.
How the fuck Berlanga? How the fuck Berlanga look better against that dude than Andre, bro?
That is so funny. A 2-division champion versus Berlanga.
You can't tell motherfuckers that all these years, the reason I ain't fight shit is because of bullshit. Bullshit. John Ryder been done for Callum Smith, Rocky Fielding, Danny Jacobs, Zach Parker, right? And you, I didn't fight shit because Canelo didn't fight me.
Yeah, he fought Billy Joe too.
And this is just something that I have to repeat for like the 100th time. You could have fought Canelo. You could have been his mandatory. You chose not to be him. So Ryder did what you should have been doing.
Yeah,
if you go to the rankings, at least the last time I checked, John Ryder was ranked. John Ryder was in the top 5.
What was the point of
Yeah, he's number
invading
one
both Johnny
in
Beck
the WBO.
and Parker? You know, I mean, and
Yeah, I
not
defended the Johnny
That
Bet move.
PBC bag.
Bro, I
Shit,
defended the
I'll
Johnny
hang it
Bet move because I thought he was going the Zach Parker route, only for him to turn around and make me look like a fool when I was defending him, bro.
So did I. I said it's okay if you don't fight Yanni Beck because Zach Parker's really the same shit. So go ahead. I'm with you. But when he pulled out of that, that's when I lost patience. Like, bro, I don't believe you're injured.
Okay.
I really don't believe you're injured. I believe you're bullshitting because you don't want to fight on the Frank Warren show. That's what I think is going on. You probably thought that Eddie was going to win the bid. And then when he don't win the bid, oh, my arm. And then you got the fuck up out of there. And then when you see, well, damn, I really ain't got no options. It's either Yanni Beck or Parker. You come back, it's just Frank now. What people tend to forget is the first purse bid involved Matchroom and Queensbury. That's why it was over $1 million. The second purse bid, it was just Queensbury because ain't nobody care about that fight like that. So that's why it was only like 300,000. The winning bid was 300,000. Before the winning bid was closer to 2 mil, but the second bid was like 300,000. So yeah, B, you fucked your paper up. You should have fought that motherfucker the first time because I don't believe you were injured. I don't believe that shit.
And Jules,
that's bullshit.
I don't think he got paid down.
He pulled out of that shit trying to be slick. It's business, like the shit he told Nesta Gibbs. It's business. Yeah,
he was the worst investment that. I think he was the worst investment that fucking.
And he fucked
I think he was the worst investment that Matchroom made was Boo Boo. Yeah. They offered money.
He paid $1 million for Nicholson, though. Because I don't think, even though he was getting paid $200,000 or $300,000, whatever it was. I mean, John Ryder took a pay cut as well. It's not like Frank Warren paid this dude millions of dollars to cross the street as the B side, you know.
Thank you. And that's the point. That's why I fuck with the John Ryders of the world, because the guys that want to fight is going to fight. And the automatic go-to, you know what it's going to be? Oh, well, he's not an unbeaten. Man, nobody care about that shit. You understand that, right? That nobody care about that shit you saying. This dude just fought on an undercard, my guy. At least if he would have fought fucking Parker, he would have been the fucking headliner.
Look, I'm going to be honest with you. Look, I'm going to be honest with you, man. Like, based off how I saw Demetrius fight yesterday, look, I wouldn't be sure that a Parker win is guaranteed, man. Because all Parker has to do is survive 4 rounds. Real talk.
That's some real shit, though, too.
Like, I'm not even
you know, I blame nobody but Andrade for the condition he's in, because he's letting everything just go right by him. He's making the wrong decisions. And this is the end results of his choices.
No, he was getting great money, like fucking hell.
And people run by the narrative that Canelo's ducking this, man. And look, again, I'm not the biggest Canelo fan. I like the dude because he's entertaining to watch, but I'm not his biggest fan. But even I know they tried to get that fight going. That was just the problem with the sanctioning bodies. But again, you know, people don't.
Listen, it's a dude. Listen, bro, it's a dude in my comments, right? Any Canelo video I make, he starts talking about the fucking Andrade guy, and I really believe that he must be related to him, because like you one of the only Andrade fans.
There's like 5 Andrade fans.
It's Isan.
It might be Isan, like on a burner, right? And he'll start up with the oh, why didn't he fight Andrade at 160? And I'll post this shit for the millionth time. He tried to. You don't want to understand that he tried to. The IBF said no. Sergey got to be next. So they go into negotiations with Sergey, but Lou DiBella priced them out. They end up stripping Canelo because they didn't reach a deal. And he like, well, I can't be undisputed no more. Fuck it, I'm moving up. Maybe I could be undisputed at 68. And that's the story. If you looking at how this dude fight with these fucking guys and you still think that he's some shit, I don't know what to tell you, bro. Something wrong with you. Something got to be. Nicholson could put him on his ass. Martirosyan could put him on his ass, but you think he gonna beat Canelo?
Imagine you put Canelo in the ring with a dude who tasted the canvas 11 times in his career already. You know how long that fight gonna last? What, 2 to 3 rounds? Come on,
bro.
Man.
Fucking hell, bro. Like I really gotta break it. Like, yo, you know that Martirosyan, Martirosyan put this dude on his back pocket. Did you see the Jack Colquet fight in Germany? No, the fuck you didn't. I know, because you're not a real Andrade fan. What you really are is a Canelo hater. And since Motherfucking Plant couldn't do it.
This, though. People can say this though. Oh, Jose Miguel Cotto
Plant beats Andrade easy.
Bro, nobody, you can't bring up no Jose Miguel Cotto when this motherfucker got dropped yesterday. Yesterday.
Let me finish.
No.
You bring up a Canelo from 11 years ago and shit.
Same thing you guys bringing up with Andrade from damn near like 10 years ago.
Desmond Nickelback was 10 years ago.
Happened last night.
You were talking about Martirosian, but hey, guys, I'm agreeing with.
Who been down more times, bro? Who been down more times? You tell me.
Canelo's never been down.
Who's been hurt more times? Andrade. Andrade's been hurt more times.
Right.
So, out of curiosity, did you finish your point, Chris? Out of curiosity, what were you trying to get at with Cotto?
Like
Sorry.
I was just saying is that. No. I was just saying, we can bring up old shit all day. I'm just saying this. Andrade, you fucked up your career, dog. You did. But if we're gonna talk about bringing up old shit, people get hurt. This is boxing. But ultimately, Andrade, bro, I don't know what the fuck you have to do to get back in these people's good graces, but you play too much. Like, I fuck with him, but like I'm really looking at it from this perspective.
I don't. You know what this shit is? I'm gonna say this too, because I'm just a customer at the end of the day. If I was a customer at a restaurant and you fuck up my food, I ain't gotta sympathize with that shit. You fucked up my food, right? Now I'm a consumer. I'm a customer. I take in boxing. And if you don't never be in no shit, I was more intrigued by Andrade versus Yannick over Andrade versus Parker than I am by Andrade versus Nicholson. But what you do? You fight Nicholson. See what I mean? It's like, nah, B, you can't tell me that all these years, you the one guy that ain't fought shit. Like, nothing. You ain't fought shit. You can't tell me all of that is because Canelo never fought me. No, bro, you wasn't trying to get down. You turned down Korobov. You said Lara was boring. You turned down Derevyanchenko. You good for that. Like, the pattern is established. You good for that.
Now, to keep it fair, yes, Triple G did not want to fight you. This is true. Triple G did not want to fight you. There were people that went against you. That ducked you. But in that same breath, just because someone ducked you doesn't mean you can duck someone else.
He got paid. Matchroom paid him too much fucking money.
For real. And that
only situation. I'm not sure.
But also, I do look at it from this perspective. With Matchroom, when he was on Matchroom, when they did give him fights, he did bust their ass. But that Billy Joe Saunders shit, we can't fucking put that on him.
No, I didn't put Billy on him. You know what?
He didn't fight him, did he?
I put Lara on him. I put Korobov on him. I put motherfucking Derevyanchenko on him because before Danny even fought him, before that, Andre could have fought him.
Julius,
yeah.
Let me ask you, why do you think Andrade is so concerned to not being in not the household fighter? I'm not talking about that, but the away fighter, the fighter that goes into enemy territory.
Because he can't knock people out and he's scared he's going to get robbed.
I think it's worse than that. I think he knows that he doesn't do enough. His performances, it's not like, oh, I beat this guy into a pulp. He knows at some point the foul, if he falters, and he doesn't do enough to say, no, Andrade win clearly. He gets hit, and he diminishes to his work rate at the second half of the fight.
That's true.
I think, for example, fighters like Canelo and Golovkin, they have more market value than Andrade, but I think that those kind of guys have a personal problem with Andrade because you're talking all this shit and you fight like that.
Yo, all right, now let's get into psychological shit, right? Peep the shit, right? Motherfucking, I believe that Canelo, the reason he look at him, él lo mira a él como un muerto de hambre. They're like, bro, you haven't done shit ever. ever, and you keep talking about me while I'm doing all this historical, magical, special shit, 76,000 for Billy Joe Saunders. I'm out here getting money. I beat like 8 or 9 champions. 8 or 9 of them, I took their belts. And you try and act like, because I ain't fight you, you somebody special. Bro, you ain't shit. Ain't no motherfucking way you been around this long and you ain't fought shit. That's not possible, bro. Everybody fought somebody but you.
Do you know why he does? One of the reasons why he hasn't fought anyone, because he goes to the negotiation table and he starts talking about the money, even when he doesn't generate shit.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's one of the main reasons.
It's on record saying the money wasn't right. The money wasn't right. It's the same shit every time.
He's over. I keep saying he's overpaid. He's way overpaid.
Thank you, Leo, because that's the main shit that doesn't really get said. Even though we talk about it a lot, and I was talking about it the other day. That look, Rashidi Ellis was talking about money with the Ortiz fight. Then he was talking about money with the motherfucking Ennis fight, and it's like, bro, who do you think you are?
You have no buzz.
Like, you ain't got no buzz, nigga.
Your biggest win is against a guy from New York named Eddie Gomez. That's your biggest win?
No, his biggest win is really Alexis Rocha, which I think is a good win. It was a good win because Alexis was undefeated. But what I'm saying is you got to be real, fam. You got to be real with yourself. You not buzzing. If you want to get a buzz, you got to bite the bullet. Otherwise, it ain't going to happen. Like real rap, it ain't going to happen. You got to take risks. And the other thing, which I said yesterday, is look, not everybody going to be elite neither. Some of these guys know in their heart, I'm going to get my ass whooped if I fight him. Fuck that shit. Fuck that. That's what the shit be on some real shit.
Because real talk,
I think with Andrade at this stage of his career, he knows that if he loses, he won't be. Yeah, I think at this stage of Andrade's career, he kind of realizes if he loses now, he'll probably never get the big fights with the Charlo. To be honest, he's at PBC, so I don't know if that could happen though. At this point, I mean, Charlo hasn't fought in nearly 2 years, and he looked horrible in his last fight. So, and this is a guy in Charlo that's never wanted the Andrade.
Bro, look at the schedule, right? Look at the schedule for what it is, right? Like Andrade just fought this January, right? Now we don't know when Charlo coming back, so we gotta wait for Charlo to come back to even know when do we get an Andrade fight. Like, okay, if Charlo come back next month, then we could be like, okay, him and Andrade could fight in the summer or maybe in the fourth quarter. But it's like nobody back yet. We don't know when Plant. I thought they was going to announce Plant versus Benavidez yesterday. They didn't.
Hey,
so it's like,
what was Chris gonna say? Because he said real talk, and then like he stopped.
Oh, Heyman got him.
Nah, you guys hear me now, right? Real talk. I was gonna say this. Rashidi Ellis, he's one. Like, this is what happens in boxing. If you draw people's ire, especially the higher ups, they'll make you the B-side forever until you really start beating people. Or like, because Rashidi Ellis, like for example, you never won a world title. I can understand why Boo Boo does what he does because he's at least won a world title. But Boo Boo wouldn't be in this position too, talking about money. Like, yo, your best one is Alexis Rocha. Your second best one is Eddie Gomez. Besides that, who have you beaten? You've beaten nobody. You lost to a dude that you were clearly beaten, but you gassed out and you allowed him to knock you down and ping you all over the ring for the last 3 rounds, right? So now, at the end of the day, you can't talk no money shit. Do the B-side to a dude that was a showbox fighter. You feel me?
Let's say this, Chris. At the end of the day, we got an idea of the infrastructure that pretty much you're not a ticket seller. You know what I mean? Like, you're not a ticket seller. So ain't nobody gonna be in no hurry to throw a lot of bread at you, feel me? And that's just the game. Like, now we gotta ask, well, why you not a ticket seller? What's going on that people don't be excited about you? And that's where we get to the meat and potatoes. Oh, well, the reason people don't be excited about you is because while it's people that didn't want to fight you, it's 1 or 2, maybe 1 or 2. It's like 5, 6 people you ain't want to fight. Jared Hurd didn't say Lara's boring. He fucking fought him, bro. Simple as. Canelo didn't say Lara's boring. Brian Castano didn't say Lara's boring. You did though. You feel me? You did.
Yeah,
so
like
when
there's always an excuse or something for
always some shit, bro. It's always some shit. And it's like, bro, I could have went for Lara versus Andre because they had backstory. They had his. I would have liked it, that fight. You know what I mean? If you would have fought Korobov, which was years ago, if you would have fought him, yeah, I would have liked that fight. If you would have fought
Sergey, he would have beat
Korobov.
I don't know why. I don't know why he didn't take that fight though.
I don't know. You know why, Chris? The money. Because you think that motherfucker just supposed to throw all the money, and it's like, yo, realistically, why I got respect for the Canelo kid? Because the Olympians get treated good when they come out of the Olympics. You feel me? Like the kids that made it to the Olympics and they have
As they should though. As they should.
I'm not saying that they shouldn't. I'm saying that this kid did do it the hard way. He been pro since 15. I don't imagine that was easy. I really don't. I don't imagine it was easy being in there with grown men and shit like that. And you like 15, 16, 17. I don't imagine that shit was easy.
Imagine going to high school in Mexico too. Like
Motherfucker got red hair and shit in Mexico.
What's the Mexican version
whoop
of
his ass all day, all week, all month?
Like Julius,
fuck you up out here, yo.
Julius, you took the Regents, right? Back in your day, right?
Hell yeah, I took the Regents.
Imagine Canelo, I just turned pro, beat some dude up, but he has to study for the Regents. Like, Mom, I beat some motherfucker up. You better go upstairs and study, you bitch ass nigga.
Listen, B, what kill me, being real, is that they act like somebody gave Canelo that. The kid has been a pro since 15. What you think they gave him? The fan base that he had, which I hate motherfuckers for this shit. Motherfuckers really act like Floyd the one that put him on when the only reason Floyd fought him is because he had a fan base. It's because if he didn't have a fan base, he wouldn't have bothered with the motherfucker. But he knew, this motherfucker got some fans and shit like
it's this. A lot of people hate on Canelo's because of this. Mexican people like him. Like, Mexicans ain't gonna like you. Because you know why? You're not fucking Mexican.
But so what?
It's that simple.
I like Mexicans. I like Selma Hayek. The fuck?
Question for the panel. Like, do you guys think that at this stage that's catching up to Canelo?
Yes.
I would say so.
I got a feeling.
He been at this. The thing about Canelo, right, is that he been at this level for a long time. I'm not trying to tell nobody that he's the greatest thing that ever did it. I'm just saying, out of this era of fighters, this is the most ambitious. He's the most ambitious. And motherfuckers will look at the shit that he did and just poo-poo on it. I'm like, show me your man and tell me how many champions he beat. Show me your man and tell me how many divisions he been a champion. You try to act like, he went up there beating Sergey, don't mean shit. Meanwhile, you sucking Andre dick for Jason Quigley and Luke Killer, you dumb motherfucker. How the fuck you sound? I know Kovalev was old. Wait, I know Kovalev was old, but that's still better than that bullshit.
Jules, you want to hear how it takes? You want to hear how? I'm about to land a plane on this one. If he fights John Ryder next, I'm possibly giving him a chance to win.
Nah, I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna be real with you. The John Ryder fight is gonna be a fun fight. It's I said this in passing a few weeks ago that I believe the John Ryder fight is gonna be fun because John come to fight. He not here for the pussyfooting around, looking at the different turnbuckles. He here to fight.
That's why I'm giving him a chance.
And he gonna crowd Canelo and force Canelo to unload. Like, we got to fight, bro. Like, we cool, but
if he wins, if he wins, y'all remember I said it.
I don't think he's gonna win, but I don't think it's a tune-up. Like, you got to watch John Ryder on the inside. Like, he has some good inside defense.
Like, he's the top. He can fight.
Not only that, but he has like real skills that a lot of people are discounting. Like, if you watch him fight on the inside, he's actually very.
The funny thing is, Ryder would be the signature win. Ryder would be a signature win for Andrade or Benavidez right now at this stage of their careers.
But he's going to start his 2023 off.
If Charlo moved up to 68 right now, look at the bullshit they hire on Juan Montiel. fucking Hugo Centennial.
Yo, bro. Yo, I have to tell you this. During the first press conference of the draw between Jermell Charlo and Brian Castano, you know what Jermell Charlo said to the motherfucking sports reporter? That shit blew my mind because I can't believe that shit came out his mouth. He said, yo, Juan Montiel is an elite fighter. I said, oh, shit.
Yeah. But, and that's
y'all want to hear some crazy shit? What's up?
Man, they're supposed to say that shit.
Hold up. This is the thing, right? That's shit from this era. It's like I just did a segment on Ryan bitch ass, right? You talking shit to Regis, bro. And you a clown for that. Because really, if you got pride, yo, show that man respect. Not because of this and that, but because you should know right now, he will fuck you up right now. If y'all fought right now, he will fuck you up right now. But you gonna talk shit because that's your era. That's how y'all move. Y'all talk because y'all got a mouth. Like you really talking wild shit to a dude that'll twist you up. Twist you up.
Shit bad.
Like he would literally
end your career.
He will put you in a hospital.
Hey, Chris.
And that's what I see with Charlo. They're like, yo, you really trying to tell people that Juan Montiel was elite when Munguia knocked him out and my man Adames wiped his ass with him. His whole ass. Me.
Good.
Yo,
I'll tell you what was worse, bro. After the
I was going to say Jules and Chris. I was going to say Jules and Chris. It's the same people that say Montiel's a killer. It's now the same people that say Karen Chukatsian is better than Crawford. So, you know, hey, look.
Yo, that's crazy.
Well, I beg your pardon. Who said what now? Who said what?
I've seen people say
Jay, you missed it yesterday, bro. Jay, you missed it. It was a dude that tried to say that Karen Chukatsian has better feet than Crawford.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of fans. I've seen a few fans saying that. That he's got slicker footwork.
And how do I get some?
No,
I'm on these motherfucking drugs. I be tripping it for motherfucker. I'm on these motherfucking. Yo, these niggas is crazy.
But do y'all know?
Yo, M.A. Bustamante. Hold on, let me read the super chat. M.A. Bustamante said Canelo had to compete with Chavez Jr. yes, he did, for a fan base when Jr. was headlining HBO cards and Canelo was on Boxeo Azteca. Dude had it. That's what I'm talking about.
Y'all remember that?
Motherfuckers really act like motherfuckers really act like somebody gave kind of like, bro, this man has been fighting since he's 15. Fuck is you talking about? He been fighting since he was 15. Yo, I would not want to be redheaded in Mexico, bro. I'm gonna tell you that. Because that cannot be easy. Motherfuckers gonna fuck you up every day, B. Every day. 7 days a week, all month, motherfuckers just want to fuck you up. You walk by, motherfuckers want to fuck you up.
And Canelo ass.
I'm sorry, I'm a little unfamiliar with Mexico's culture. Is there a stigma against like redheads?
It's not that. It's like the way I could describe it. It's like if you went to when I was young, right? And if you go to when I was young, right? And you was in Harlem, if you had like a geeky type dude, like an Urkel type dude, motherfuckers just gonna want to beat the shit out of you just because. Just like, who the fuck is this? You know what I mean? Just because. So I imagine that was the experience that Canelo had.
There's also
discrimination
thing that goes on in Mexico too, though. I mean, like a lot of times,
not because that's not exclusive to Harlem. Like it's motherfuckers that got like, you know, like who's that kid from Desperate Housewives, Jesse Metcalf? That motherfucker had a very punchable face, and outside that club in LA. That motherfucker got laid out, B.
Laid out? Yeah, but when you redhead and pale skin with freckles, you get teased for your Irish background in Mexico. You got that Irish background.
Yeah,
for real. Like I do not imagine. And what I hate is that they act like. See, this is the thing, and I say it all the time. Just because you Mexican, that does not mean that you're going to have all the fans support. Zerto was an example that he was a champion, but he wasn't really buzzing at 68 because, you know, certain fights wasn't happening. You don't just get that fan base inherently. It depends on who you fighting. So when you fighting people, they'll fuck with you. Like Oscar Valdez in Arizona. They fuck with him because he fight people. Win or lose, he fight people. You know what I mean? He fought Scott Quigg. He fought Miguel Burchell. He fight people. You know what I mean?
Quigg broke his whole shit, bro. And still
broke his jaw, B, but he kept fighting. Bloody shit and all. He kept fighting. They'll fuck with you if you perform. It's not a given. It's if you perform.
And I respect Oscar Valdez because let's keep it a buck. He could have ducked Shakur because that wasn't a fight he was going to win. He still fought him anyway.
He was never going to win that fight. He was never going to win that fight.
But he fought him anyway.
Never going to win that fight. But I still fuck with him when he come back because he has to. When he come back, because right now Navarrete about to fight the Australian dude instead for the vacant BO. When he come back, that's going to be a good ass fight. That's a good ass fight. Yep. Valdez versus Navarrete. That's a good ass fight.
Yep. But fellas, I just took a trip to the boxing rankings. Guess where John Ryder's ranked right now in the ring?
Where?
Number three. Number three.
I knew it was hot because BoxRec has him number 2, I believe. And yeah, Ring has him number, and they try to tell you, oh, he is scrub, but Andrade is hot shit for fighting fucking Nickelbag.
And you know the best part is Canelo's like openly stating, "Hey, since I just coming off this hand surgery, he even stated I'm taking a tune-up." How many dudes are in the top of the pound for pound list, undisputed, and take a fucking number 3 dude as a tune-up? Nobody, bro. Come on, man.
Thank you.
That's what I said. I'm like, yo, look, peep this shit, because he was talking shit to the boxing voice, and I'm like, yo, this is crazy. You saying you sat out all last year. You didn't even fight. Canelo actually fought. Injury and all, he's still out here getting it in. And he's saying, yo, next fight, I want to take a tune-up. And his tune-up is still rated way higher than the dude you fighting. And you think that when you talk shit, people gonna really feel that shit? No. You don't fight nobody that nobody cares about, bro. I'm saying you 34, Canelo 32. How? Like how?
Realistically speaking, Jules, you got to understand that. Like again, I've said this before, but like that vocal minority does not represent the paying public. There are 10 Andrade fans, and there are like 5 Charlo fans, and
here's the thing. And it's not so bad that these are nobodies and they're not on the same experience level as the elites. Like, because if Andrade is sleeping all these dudes, then you know what? You're going to get Canelo's attention. You're going to seem like a challenge, you're going the distance with these dudes who ain't even in the top 15.
You went the distance with someone who Berlanga knocked down 4 times. Bro, Berlanga knocked him down more times than you did.
Also, the American thing as well. Danny Jacobs was the top American champion at middleweight. Canelo fought him. At 68, the top American champion was Caleb Plant. Canelo fought him. So when people say Canelo ducks American champions, that's not true, bro.
Well, we know what we know what that shit is, and I don't like having that conversation, so I don't have it. You know what I mean? Because there's no way I can have that conversation without, you know what I mean, addressing some inconvenience.
Into race politics. The tribalism, it makes it hard to be pragmatic and objective. People don't understand these things.
Yes, in a nutshell, because I'm like, you do realize that this is not the 80s, right? That we don't dominate all the divisions and we don't dominate this sport. Like literally us Americans, all of us, just as a whole, we don't dominate boxing anymore. Tell me who the dominant American cruiserweight is. Tell me who the dominant American light heavyweight is. Tell me who the dominant American super middleweight is.
I can tell you.
Who?
Julius.
Right? It's some ego to me. It's some ego to me, right? It's some self-important bitch ass ego shit. It's some like really some ego, like you need to feel like yo, bro, give people like fucking props, bro. You know what I mean? Like the fuck, like you acting like unless they American, it don't count. Get the fuck out of here, bro.
That's how a lot of motherfuckers feel, and until they get their ass beat. And you know, one thing about people who have that mentality and share those sentiments. Once, like for example, I love Shannon Briggs, but Shannon Briggs was on that type of time, and look what Vitaly Klitschko almost did to him. Almost killed that man.
Destroyed him, bro.
No, he almost killed that man. Like real talk.
I know he destroyed him. He put him in the hospital, and Shelly Finkel left him in Germany in the hospital. He just left him over there, big. Yeah, he was over there for weeks and months. I think they said weeks. I don't know about months, but I know he was in there for weeks in the hospital.
But yo,
the Wilder fans want to praise Shelley.
But now you gotta look at it from this perspective too. Like with those dudes who talk all that shit, like a lot of the motherfuckers just be on some hating ass shit. They're just natural haters, bro. They just been hating motherfuckers. They always be hating ass motherfuckers.
But I'll tell you what, Chris, this the shit. Because this is where the internet fuck up at, right? If they haters, I don't care, right? Like, I don't care. Whatever you do in the comfort of your own home, I don't care. You know when it becomes a problem? When you come to me with your bullshit. And that's literally what they do. Like, it's not cap. It's not cap. Yesterday, right? Watching this bullshit ass card that sucks. And I tweeted about it. Here comes some dick. I thought you said it, but man, get off my dick. The fuck wrong with you, bro? You telling me that I'm on Twitter and you watching my tweets? You fucking weirdo. Because I was talking about the Tank Davis card, right? You said it was a bad card. Man, if you don't get the fuck off my dick, you fucking...
Look, but here's the reality. The reality is
what does this motherfucker expect? You make your money off of boxing. Yo,
that's what... Like, they don't... You know that they literally don't understand that? If not for that being a revenue stream, you know that I wouldn't even be on Twitter, right? I had a Twitter account for years that I never used. And I only started using it primarily once I got into monetizing videos and shit, because I don't like Twitter. I don't like motherfuckers just coming up and saying, like, no, that's not, I'm old. I'm not used to that. That's for the young. I don't want to know what the fuck you think. If I want to know what the fuck you think, I will either follow you or I will ask you. Other than that, keep that shit to yourself. I picked Shakur Stevenson. Shout out to Ringside Views. I picked Shakur Stevenson to beat Gervonta Davis, right? I left a comment because it asked, who you think will win. Here come 10 dick-eating like, bro, I don't care who you pick to win the fight. Who the fuck asked you who's going to win the fight? No one. If you got Davis, do you think I care?
All right, but
this
what you believe...
I swear to God, I'm moving to the Ukraine, bro. I gotta go help Zelensky. This generation.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
All right, bro.
All right, then I'm gonna fucking go to fucking Cambodia. This generation is weird. America.
So you're gonna be the Dominican Pol Pot?
So
Dominican Pol Pot.
I'm gonna say this. I don't know if it's a matter of it being weird or if it's just the reality that people think their opinions matter more than what they actually do. Because I feel like everyone believes their opinion is entitled to some recognition, some merit, when the reality is no one has to listen to what you're saying. Realistically speaking, like no one gives a shit no one gives a shit about what I say online.
I'm pretty sure if you gave a fuck what I think, you would subscribe and send me a bunch of money, right? But if you're not doing that, I'm just gonna assume that you don't give a fuck what I think, because you know how it works. I don't give a fuck what you think. That's why I'm not following you. That's why I didn't ask. But all I got to do is say, I think Shakur would beat him, because that's what the post is about, them fighting. And here comes some dick eating. Hey, David, man, I don't give a fuck what you think about that fight. Who the fuck asked you?
My brother watched it yesterday, and he finally came to a senses and said, like, yo, if Tank keep fighting like that, Shakur gonna beat him. I looked my brother in the face, because my brother is a casual boxing fan comparative to me. I looked him in his face and said, like, now, finally. Shakur stops him, in my opinion.
A lot of people that bombard you online,
unless some phenom comes
they
along,
can't share their opinion.
Tyron defeated.
They can't share their opinion in the real world. So they're probably loners. So when they go on the internet, on Twitter, they're in a position where they can bombard people, where their opinions have to be heard. Because in the real world, they ain't shit. So.
Thank you for that, because that's the feeling that they give off. They're like, okay, let's say, for example, that you want to open a line of communication with someone who you don't otherwise speak to. I don't actually have a problem with that, but that's not how these people behave online, which tells me that, you know what, you're probably a loner and a loser and you don't get any fucking pussy. So when you get online, you put your bat suit on and you start acting retarded. If you want to talk to me about the fight, we could do that. I'm not like a mean person at all, but what you mean? Like, hey, yo, like I wouldn't come up to you like that in real life. So you shouldn't be coming up to me like that in any way, shape, or form. If I had a difference of opinion, of your opinion, if I even cared, because I don't, but if I did, There's an etiquette. And that's how I be knowing it. Like, yo, a lot of y'all cats, like, y'all got like a double life thing. Like, you probably flip burgers at McDonald's, but when you get online, you just the rudest, most unruliest motherfucker on earth, online. But outside of that, you want some loner,
bro.
On some loner fapping all fucking day type shit. Like, man, don't even talk to me, bro. Like, do not talk to me, yo. Just keep that shit to yourself. I don't care who you think win a boxing match. I didn't ask you. Fuck you think. I don't fucking ask you shit. If you think Davis gonna win, tell your motherfucking bookie.
You know the reason why you don't speak to them dudes? Because those dudes can have an objective conversation. It wouldn't be bad unless, like, if these guys could like say, yo, why Gervonta would beat Tank? No, why Tank would beat Shakur? You'll be okay with that because that's friendly and that's, you know, banter. That's discourse. That's educational discourse. Those guys are just sycophantish dick riders. Like, yo, bro.
Like you, in other words, you come off in a way, which is why I know that the people are young, because generally people my age don't really behave that way. Like, fuck you, yo, David. Like, nah, bro, what am I, 12? Why are you talking to people like that online? You know it be some young 20-year-old motherfucker that live with his parents or whatever the fuck he got going on. Like, man, keep that shit to yourself, bro.
Damn, I feel somewhat
I ain't
called
mad
out,
at
man.
you. I ain't mad at you. I'm just saying, I'm like, yo, man, like, motherfuckers really, I think that's going to be the new shit, yo. Just because you online don't mean I give a fuck. I don't give a fuck who you think wins this fight. If I wanted to know, I would ask you. And I didn't, right?
Like, when people get emotional and shit, like when people get emotional about like their favorite fighters and can't speak objectively about their favorite fighters or any fighters, I look at them and I'm like, I see you angry right now, bro. But you know, you might want to look inside yourself and see what kind of personal fulfillment you're lacking in your real life at home. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, because of the shit that people like. Listen, bro, I gotta.
Like, the boxers don't care about
Exactly. Like, yo, it ain't even that deep to where you got to be so invested as to hurl the insults and all that shit. And I'm like, yo, 9 times out of 10, these exchanges, which I don't like, that I have online, they're coming from guys that are like, yo, what the fuck? Like, is the fighter your brother? Is he your cousin? Y'all related? Like, did he do you a favor? Then why you on his dick? You on his dick? Because you acting like you on his dick, like you his mother or his girlfriend or some shit. I don't give a fuck if you from Gervonta Block. What the fuck that mean to me? Nothing. You need to understand that. I don't care about none of that local shit. What you think? I root for every New York fighter? I don't. That shit, unless they paying something around here, why the fuck would I pledge fealty to them? This generation is a generation that has been conditioned to follow. That's why they like that. They've been conditioned.
Bro, I'm part of that generation. I know I'm the exception that doesn't make the rule. But I also know this. There was dick riders in every fucking generation, bro.
But it was bro. I'm just telling you that if it was a motherfucker, I'm just telling you, the shit that's normal right now was not normal in the early 2000s or the 90s. No, dick eating, nah, you eating a lot of motherfucking dick. Like, nah, chill. Like,
people can be whatever they want.
Right now.
I still can't understand why people have any faith in Cap Maul Charlo when there's a video of him running behind security. Couldn't be me. Yo, listen, B. Motherfuckers, it's like, I could understand rooting for the home team because it's a different sport, different dichotomy to the sport of boxing. But I don't give a fuck if like, let's say, okay, this guy's from Texas and this guy's from Texas. I don't give a shit. I like Virgil. I don't like Spence. They from the same state. I like Virgil, and I don't like Spence. Simple as that. I don't like every New York fighter. I like Mike Tyson. He from Brooklyn, but that's And Danny. I fuck with Danny. You know what I mean? But I ain't really big on Chris Cole.
You fuck with
I mean, he was nice. You can't say Zab didn't have a good run. You can't. He had a good run. You know
why? I really I get pissed off with Zab as a New York boxing fan. He had it all, bro. Like, if you really look at Zab from 140, yo, he fucked up his career just being on some nigga shit, bro. Like, on some real little kid shit. But at the end of the day, when you that young and that talented, you bound to do some stupid shit. But like, for example, the Costa Zoo fight, he should have never lost that fight. He should have beat the shit out of Costa Zoo. But hey, that's that
Costa
little kid.
was a bad dude, though. I ain't gonna act like, nah, you ain't just posed to be Costa, bro. Costa was fucking people up.
The first round, he made that shit look easy. If Vince Phillips, a cokehead, can beat up fucking Costa Zoo like that, Vince Phillips was a journeyman.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug, bro.
Bro, let's not do that. Vince Phillips was a fucking journeyman. And let me tell you this. Vince Phillips did not want to fight fucking Zab Judah at 40. I remember watching them fights, bro. Nah, man, I'm telling you, Zab Judah is the biggest underachiever in New York boxing. He could have been the best.
Nah, I ain't gonna say that. Nah, I ain't gonna say that. Jarrell Miller.
Stop.
You wildin'. You gonna say Zab is a bigger underachiever than Jarrell Miller?
Here's why. Because even for
Zab was undisputed, my guy. You sound crazy.
Zab could have been even better, bro. That's how.
But he's still not the biggest underachiever.
Riddick Bowe has to be a big underachiever.
Yeah, he was a multi-division champion, though. Wasn't he like a two-division champion, undisputed? Like, he did do some good things in his career.
But the reason why I say that, there's fights on his career. Like, for example, he should have never lost to Cotto, in my opinion. Like, I know
about that. Yo, wait. You saying lost to Cotto like Cotto ain't shit.
Bro, I'm not saying that. Like, Cotto was a phenomenal fighter. Like, yo,
how you telling me he shouldn't have lost the guys you saying, right? They're like, yo, he should. Look, I could understand AJ.
I think he was better than them.
Wait, fam. I could understand somebody saying AJ shouldn't have lost to Ruiz. You saying he shouldn't have lost to Cotto like he fucking Yuri Foreman or some shit, bro. Like
maybe he had more natural talent,
bro. That was like the Hall of Famer, bro. Never said like how the fuck.
But
we're like you talking about Costa, like Costa was just a dude with a ponytail, like that's Costa's old motherfucker.
But at the end of the day, I watched those fights. Zab Judah started great in all those fights. It's not like, yo, bro, Zab Judah, that first round against Costa Zoo, I said, like, yo, there's no way in hell Costa Zoo's gonna beat him. But hey, he got caught up with that right hand.
I'm just saying, like, you can't say like Costa's, like, you can't say Costa Zoo the way we say Salka. If you said like, if it was like somebody like that, then you ain't supposed to lose to him. But you lost Costa Zoo.
But the thing is, he's so fucking talented, bro.
He's still ish. It's like when people talk about Tyson, for example, Mike Tyson, which I hate when they do this. They act like because he lost to Holyfield or because he lost to Buster and Lennox, that, oh, your career just sucked. Bro, this dude electrified the world. You crazy? The impact that man had? Bro, this is one of the few athletes that is known the world over. He is an iconoclast. Never mind that he lost to Holyfield. Never mind that he lost to Lennox. Acting like he ain't do shit is crazy to me. It's crazy. Like, nah, bro. B. You wailing like that dude literally, that dude was, feared, bro. Feared.
Yo, let me tell you something. That's the only man that's been 5'10" in the history of the world to threaten to sodomize a man and no one said pause.
Nobody said pause. Like, nobody gonna say nothing, B.
Yo, bro, you know how scary that shit is, my nigga? He said, like, yo, I'm not even gonna repeat what he said, bro, but like, no, some dude said, yeah, that's how scared he was. Because
I'll give you another example. There was a feeling a couple of years ago, I'm gonna say maybe over 10, where people did not appreciate Oscar's career. And I know because I was one of them. There was a feeling in some boxing circles that Oscar had lost a lot of his big fights, like the Trinidad fight, the Hopkins fight, yada, yada, yada.
He didn't beat Pernell Whitaker, in my opinion.
I mean, there was that feeling. And it took for me to age to realize, like, nah, B, that dude career was lit, B. He fought everything, B. Win or lose, he fought everything, B.
From 130
it took me years to really look at that. Like, nah, his shit was lit, B. Oscar has some nights, B. The Mayorga fight, I mean, the August fight, like, yes,
the Ike Quartet and Obakar.
Yeah, I mean, yes, nights, B. And it took me years to realize that, like, look, you can have a dope, because I look at his career as dope. I look at Mike's career as dope. There was fights that you lost, but like, you was 20 whooping ass when he beat the shit out of Burbick and Burbick had them church socks. And He all fucked up, grown ass man. He like 6'4", fucked up with the church socks. Stumbled like, bruh, he was 20 when he did that. That's lit. You was 20, champion of the world. Like, chill, B. Chill, B.
He was the youngest to ever do it at heavyweight.
Crazy, though. Church socks is crazy, my nigga. That shit.
Yo, go back and watch that shit. He literally had the church socks, the black joints. Like, bro, out of all the socks you could have picked, bro. Boy, you know what I'm saying? I remember, Matt, I don't even think those was church socks. I think those was suit socks. Because I remember Trevor Burbick used to like to wear suits. He's on his classy shit. Drew said, what I miss, I'm on my Ivo hype, having to study CPA program material 20, 30 hours a week. And Oscar earned his cocaine nights with pantyhose. You know what I'm saying, B?
By the way, Jules, country's power cut out. Could you save him a spot?
I got, yes, plenty. It's a spot. It's a spot.
Harder, right? That's what De La Hoya did. He worked hard, played harder.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it took me a while to realize it. Like, no, when you had a career like that, the losses really ain't losses because those was legendary nights. Like, for example, Cotto got the shit beat out of him by Margarito. We all know. But that's what made the vengeance also lit. That it was like, yo, he has like, he won one, he lost one. He got his ass whooped in that first one. But he did I ain't gonna front. He had a little bit of help from Manny Pacquiao fucking up that orbital. But still, it's legendary shit. That it's not. In other words, it's a little deeper than winning and losing. I'm gonna give you an example. This is a postmodern example. Amanda Serrano might have lost to Katie on the cards, but the way she made people feel that night when she hurt Katie, motherfuckers not never gonna forget that. Because that was some real dramatic shit. So, yeah, you lose.
Bad, dude.
Hey, Jules, I got one, man. Hey, Doc, hold up. Hey, how about when De La Hoya fought Sturm at 160 and he showed up like Damon Wayans from the Great White Hype and still put out a W?
Done. With the feet, and we let's be real, he ain't really win that Sturm fight. But it's okay.
But hey, he did
it. Bro,
Sturm was a draw, but I was like, damn, man. He showed up.
Like he ain't. But it's so because I'm like, yo, you know what I noticed? A lot of the great guys, the greatest of the great guys, nobody's perfect. Ray Robinson never fought Charlie Burley. Feel me? And he lost a couple. I think he lost like one fight to Jake LaMotta. Like nobody's perfect.
Jack Johnson, he won. Jack Johnson won fight
every cat that they said was too dangerous, that they said he would get knocked out by. He would fight those dudes, man. Like.
For real, like Floyd. I know motherfuckers hate Floyd. I understand. But I'm saying you can't say that the man didn't do shit just because he got a gift over Castillo. Maybe he did get a gift over Castillo. You telling me because he got a gift he ain't no good? I don't believe that.
And what he do at part two? And what he do at part two?
Exactly. You know what I mean? It's like, yo, the way that motherfuckers look at boxing to me is like, yo, it's kind of cartoonish. They're like, yeah, you know, nobody's perfect, but they'll act like because nobody's perfect that, oh, yeah, you just piece of trash. Like, nah, chill. All right, Canelo didn't look great with Lara. That don't mean Canelo's a bad fighter. At least he fought the motherfucker. Charlo's ain't want to fight him. Andrade ain't want to fight him. Canelo fought him. The fuck?
But has Canelo fought Montiel?
You know what?
That is the real question.
I'm still upset that he didn't. He should have fought.
That's funny as hell. Y'all
hey, man, Quigley stops Canelo in 5.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Easily,
Quigley,
bro. The great Luke Killer stopped Canelo in 2, B.
Keeler makes Canelo put on the stool, yo.
He stops Canelo with a feint.
Willie Nelson stops Canelo in 1, bro.
I just got a text from Canelo. He said if Andre beats Jake Paul, he'll fight him.
Speaking of feints, this is something that I have to bring up. This is just in tandem to the yesterday's Boots match. How y'all gonna say Chukatsian is some big shit when he literally fell for every single feint Boots threw?
Look,
that motherfucker got some cardio, bro. That motherfucker stayed away that whole fight.
No,
No, look, I'm gonna tell you what. That's the one thing that I give them both credit for, that they both is well conditioned, because Chukatsian was able to keep on the move and keep on the fly the whole fight, and Boots was throwing, but he was able to keep throwing the whole fight. That's one thing I will say, that okay, I see that you ain't got neither one of y'all two got gas tank issues, because that shit looked tiring.
I think Karen was like, I think he knew, like, I can't box with this guy, but you know what? I can get on my bike and pick my pot shots, Maybe I'll land that one punch that does something. Maybe I don't, but I'm gonna survive this fight at the end.
The only strategy I think that could have been is he had to know that Boots really don't go the distance very much. Most of his fights end by knockout. So maybe he thought exactly. So maybe what he thought is, all right, I'm gonna take him to the later rounds and then I'm gonna open up. But when he seen that, damn, this dude's still throwing punches. fuck this shit. I'm just
like Villa did.
He turned the matador into a bull.
But do you see how big Boots was comparative to that little
bro? Hey, I was about to say that, man. When they fucking walked up to each other to touch gloves, I said, bro, these ain't even the same weight class.
For real, Boots look like a whole junior middleweight out there.
I mean, shit. Look at Villa in comparison to Rashidi. Villa looked big. That was a big fucking kid.
Well, it was a combination of things. It was a combination of things with that, Alvo. I'm gonna say that Villa was lanky for welter, but also Rashidi is small and stumpy, so it make him look big. Feel me? Because Rashidi he's stumpy like Porter, like he's stocky. He's not really big for welter, but he wide pause. You're
probably right, man. Like, because honestly, I've seen a couple of Rashidi's fights, and yeah, he is relatively on the smaller end. I'm just saying, like, when I saw those two step in the ring, I'm like, damn, these look like they belong in two different fucking weight classes.
For real.
Yo, I just want to say something about Ellis, man. I don't know if it was just me, but like, let me know if y'all kind of felt the same way. I can't remember. I'm 40. I've been watching boxing since I was a little kid. I can't remember the last time, and this fight gave me like little feelings of like late 80s, early 90s fights. But I can't remember the last time I seen a dude so fucked up, so hurt, and still fight back so fucking well. What Ellis did, though, right?
No, I'll give him this, that he finished the fight on his feet and didn't stay down. I'll give him that because he was getting like that second half of that fight. That left hook, that left hook that he hit him with, that shit that I'd have stayed down, bro. Like, I don't want.
Bro, but what I'm saying is, you see when he was fucked up, his punches still had power, and Villa still respected them punches coming back, even when he had that motherfucker all fucked up. Bro, I ain't seen a dude, like I said, be that hurt and still.
I think he gets a rematch.
Well, all I know is I don't care about moral victories.
No.
What I'm saying is, Rashidi was talking all that.
I agree.
Rashidi was talking all that shit about. But no, Rashidi was saying all that stuff about Golden Boy and how they're keeping him inactive. I'm like, bro, you go out and wet the bed like this? Come on.
Nah, but real shit. The other thing with Rashidi, and this goes back to something that Beats said. Shout out to Beats. Beats said it best, that when you skip out on fights that you supposed to have, it show up later. Now, we know what happened. They offered you Virgil, you priced yourself out. They offered you Ennis, you priced yourself out. So that Villa would be the one that beat your ass. Because look, you got to go through that. If you elite, you got to go through the gears, B. Like, for real, you got to. If you really elite, that's why boxing is still a sport in some ways. Like, motherfuckers just want it to be a business, but no, it's a sport. There's a necessary process that you have to undergo to find out what you are. Are you a champion or are you a gatekeeper? You're going to get the answer sooner or later. You're going to get the answer.
This is why
you know what that fight was? That fight last night was just basically Montiel versus Charlo, except Ellis lost.
No, that fight was Zelfa Barrett versus Rakhimov. You a good pure boxer. Yes. You a good pure boxer, but we don't really know how good you are till you show that you could deal with a pressure guy, which is why I fuck with Sonny. Sonny won that motherfucking Alvarado fight. Pressure fighters usually beat pure. Usually, pressure fighter will beat a pure boxer. He showed
they're the same level. Yes.
Usually they'll beat him, and he showed. Yeah, he a pressure fighter, but I'm a level above him. I can beat him, and he fucking beat him. Now Zelfa Barrett, he didn't beat Rakhimov, so like, yeah, you a pure boxer, boy. You not a level pure boxer. Like
Rashidi's problem is he really did a lot of stupid things in that fight. I mean, you've seen the fight, so I don't have to repeat it. But the reality is, he kept backing up into a corner, into the freaking ropes. That was one of his big issues. And second off, I don't know why in the later half he tried to start exchanging with Villa. That was so stupid.
Well, what he did
was so stupid.
If he did something that I thought is a hindrance, because I don't really like to be the guy that tells him what he should do. I just try to focus on what I saw. But I think that if there was a misstep or if there was something that needed working on, is that you off top backpedaling, you off top giving up ground where you need to turn him turn them, because if you don't turn them, you're going to end up on them ropes, and you don't want to be there. And I see that with a lot of the pure boxers, that they give up ground, and before you know it, they on the ropes. And like, yeah, you might be okay doing that shit in round 1 and round 2, but what about round 8 and round 9? Like, you're going to get tired, bro. And where are you?
I was about to say, when they're owning ring generalship and they're owning the distance, and then all of a sudden they're putting themselves on the ropes and in corners, they're tired.
Rashidi made a mistake that was just made because he doesn't have enough experience, realistically speaking. Like he I guess maybe he just didn't understand his positioning in the ring.
No, Avo, because he had 24 fights leading up to this shit. So to me, you know what it really was? It was the weeding out process. That even look, we know that not everybody gonna be a champion, and it's a process. Like, yeah, some guys gonna be elite, and some guys ain't. And he found out, nah, fam, like, nah, because you don't have the power to keep him off, and you ain't got the feet to turn him. Maybe you know, not having the power, that wouldn't have been so bad if you could turn him, counter him, and hit him with some shit he don't see to slow him down. Because that's what Sonny did to Alvarado. Like, that's how you turn the motherfucker in. He didn't do that. Off top, soon as the rounds start, where you go? To the ropes. He ain't even got to put you there. You go in there to the ropes.
Y'all think he could? Y'all think he could win a rematch?
Talking about Jules. You know that process you saying about weeding them out? It's just happening later because these fuckers aren't fighting.
That too. Motherfuckers is protecting their
30 fights, and then you fucking fighting 30 fucking tomato cans, and then you go 12 rounds with a Karen that you were plus 4,000 on. Come on.
And the other shit is, look, not to jump on Ennis, but yo, you fought for 4 minutes last year. What kind of grooming process is this? You fought for, like, you had one fight that lasted a grand total of 4 minutes.
You know,
what kind of process is that?
Not to be on Top Rank's dick, but this is what I like about Top Rank. I like Top Rank because they test their prospects. PBC does not.
If a motherfucker look, motherfucking, I think it's Bowser. Ain't it Bowser that's on the Matchroom show?
Yeah, he's fighting Richardson.
So. Bowser had one bad show, and I remember the last fight. He had one bad show, and Top Rank like, all right, motherfucker. Elvis Rodriguez, he lost to I think Kenny Sims. All right, motherfucker. Motherfucker. That's it.
I was arguing with this Claude on Twitter, which of course that's par for the course of the fucking website. But he's like, yeah, I was telling him, like, listen, all the baggage aside, Top Rank is literally industry standard when it comes to developing fighters. And I was telling him, like, if you take a Xander's eyes, for my money, he'd fucking destroy Sebastian Fundora tomorrow, just because he's always training and he's always fighting. He's not wasting his best years in the gym. So he can actually apply those things. Whereas Sebastian Fundora, I think he stopped fighting more than twice a year back in 2019, I think, or 2018. I forget when. So, and he's like, yeah, Xander, I don't think Xander would ever win a world title. And I'm just like, bro, what the fuck are you watching? Just the fact that he's 20 years old with 15 professional fights and he's already fighting on TV, high level boxing, like, that's gonna prepare him for the future when that fight does happen. Either, too. And he's fighting often.
Like what I like about Xander, that's an old school process that he on, because I think like 1 year he fought like 5 times. I'm like, yo, B, 5 times, like he's sharp than a motherfucker. And a kid like Fundora, for where he is, the real problem with boxing is right now is the infrastructure. The budget may not allow for him to fight 3 times a year, which wouldn't be the end of the world if you let him move around. But because the fighters don't have no autonomy, because they can't fight off platform, you're not even letting them get out there to get some other money. You never know. Maybe Eddie Hearn would be like, hey, man, can I borrow Fundora? I want to make a Madrimal fight with Fundora. I got some money for him. Nah, they won't let him take it. Like, nah, you got to stay over here, B, and fight 2 times a year. Barely fight. Stay over here.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, if a promoter does not have money, and like you said, doesn't have the money to like get his fighters to fight, send them to another promotion. Like, stop. Boxing fans are the only fans
that's what they are.
That don't like to watch boxing. Like, can you imagine if NBA fans were saying, "Yeah, I don't want to see the best players play every night"? It's fucking.
That's that's the one thing in boxing that I think, honest to God, I think could save it. That like, yo, dog, listen, if you ain't got it in the budget, and Joe Blow with a lot of money to blow, right? He come in like, yo, can I borrow him? I got to fight for him. Look at the fight, evaluate the fight, And you could beat that motherfucker, get that money, because that's what Bob did. Eddie came with them 4 M's. Yo, we want to borrow Jose Ramirez. We want him to unify with Mighty Mo Hooker. Bob, like, man, I ain't got 4 M's for you, so you better get that money. And he went right over there, knocked his ass out, got 2 belts. Bang.
Damn straight.
And then like the process of grooming, like you said, Jules, what's Xander, 19? You said you're not going to start holding him accountable till like 22.
Yeah, because it don't make sense. Like, to me, right, boom, it don't make sense. Like, they was talking about a girl fighter the other day. I did a video by Sky Nicholson. Motherfucker really complaining. I told the dude, I'm like, bro, this girl has been a professional boxer, a pro, for a year. Who the fuck do you want her to fight? Godzilla? She been a pro for, well, she needs to step it. I'm like, bro, she got 5 fights and she been a pro for a year. How you sound? Boxing is the only sport. Right, it's the only. I love you. It's the only sport with fans that are this obtuse. They're like, yo, are you stupid? What's the matter with you? Xander is 20, bro. Who you want him to fight, bro? You think he should go fight Charlo? Go fight Charlo. Fuck it. That's how you think it worked? You dumb motherfucker. And that's why I want these motherfuckers, keep them opinions to yourself. Because that shit dumb. Motherfucker 20, bro. Who you want him to fight? And you know it's politics too. It's a wonder they could even get him 5 fights a year because it's politics and shit. But what need to change is, and I've been saying it for 3 years, they need to develop a bartering system. You evaluate the overall value of a fight, evaluate the value of 2 separate fights, 2 cross-promotional fights, cross-compare that value, and swap. Like, I'll give you him so you can do that, and you give me him so we could do this.
Realistically speaking, prospects like Xander and like, is he even a prospect at this point? Because like honestly, I see what he's got. I don't know what
he's a prospect. He's not a contender. He's not a contender. He's not a contender yet.
Okay, so then let's keep it like that. Prospects like Xander, like Boots, like Ellis, they should be fighting 5 times a year. Realistically speaking,
you call Boots a prospect with 30
yes,
plus 30 fights?
Okay, Ellis is a 29-year-old prospect. That's
yeah, well, in my
opinion, Ennis is not a prospect. Ennis is not a prospect because he's an interim champion now. He's a contender.
Oh, I apologize. He's a contender. Okay, whatever. Point still stands. Up until this point in time, there's no reason they should have been fighting 4 or 5 times a year. I apologize. Yeah, he's not a prospect. Fine, fuck off. Name 5 top 5 people he's fought. Fuck out of here. I know. I'm sorry. I made a stupid whatever. But the point still stands. People like Ennis or Sheedy, you need to fight more than once, twice a year. If Canelo fights twice a year, you should be fighting that much.
Especially Ennis, because you trying to build a fan base, right? Like, you don't have a fan base. What you have is guys on Twitter that really ain't paying no bread. You need to build a fan base, right? So you need to fight more often because you don't have a fan base. You're going to end up like Gary Russell on that schedule. You want to end up like Gary Russell? Nah, right? You need to fight. Right,
Gary fights every other eclipse,
and that goes to my point that I know Boots and them, they're just waiting for either Virgil to start getting a bigger profile or a vacant belt.
Yo, country, it's like 10 people up here, bro. It's Chris, Jay, Julio, Avo, Alex, Leo, Drew, AOA, and Virtuoso. It's like 10 people up here.
This is the all-star team.
All right, Leo.
Later, Leo.
Yeah, like arguing with these people, they're just like the fighters, man. Like y'all only watch boxing twice a year when your favorite.
What's Boots gonna do?
So you don't know what's going on
next.
We don't know.
Next?
I don't think
Boots is probably gonna fight. Boots is probably gonna fight the dude that beat Ellis.
Villa?
Probably gonna fight that dude.
You
know the shit is. Listen. I'm okay with that fight. Why? Because this dude just beat an unbeaten up-and-comer. So I like that process. That all right, Villa, you beat Rashidi Ellis. Let's see you go in there and fight Boots. I'm cool with that. But no more Dulormes, B. No
I'm
more
cool with that. I'm cool with that.
Hey, Jules,
I'm cool with that fight, but that fight should happen before the end of the summer. That should happen by June.
Yeah, I don't think it should take long. Who mic is that?
Not mine.
Is that mine?
Yeah, close that tab.
Someone's playing it back.
No, but Jules, I think that you think Rashidi could beat that Villa guy in a rematch if there was one?
No.
Not think so.
So
I think you can make the adjustments.
Well, he need if I was going look, if it's me, if you asking me, so I'll say this. I would give him 2 fights before he fights that man again. But I would make sure that he fights that man again for his psychology. If you walk away from that fight and you don't see, that's why I fuck with Lennox. Yeah, Oliver got him, but he ran it back. It took a couple of fights, but he did run it back. It wasn't an immediate rematch. With Rockmont, that was immediate. Yeah, you need that for this. You need that. If you just sit on that L, you're just going to be sitting on that L and you're going to have that PTSD because you never got that back. What he needs to beat that dude is he needs to pivot. You need to pivot because you just backpedaling. You just moving lateral. You don't want to run from this dude. You want to surprise him to slow him down. You know what I mean? The shit that he was hitting him with was shit that he could take. You know, he's shooting the jab looked good, by the way. The jab was looking good in the first half, but the dude, getting some of them shits. He want to turn him like Sonny was turning Alvarado, sock him. And just one good sock at a time. Just keep turning him till he slow the fuck down so you can start stepping into your pinches. Yep. Because the shit he was doing, you just moving away from him the whole fight. That's all you was doing. And
it's just a countdown to getting broken down.
I'd rather see him fight Boots next. Like, come on.
I'm not gonna hop on the Villa bandwagon like he's this like top tier fucking fighter, but I'm gonna say this: his only loss I believe was a split decision. He has a chin. I've seen him fight a little bit. He has a chin, and his style is like he's kind of like a juggernaut. He wants to like walk you down. That's his. Again, you saw the fight, so I don't have to.
Yeah, but I'm not mad at that because look, I'm not mad at Villa versus Ennis because Villa just showed, nah, man, you're gonna need something else because that little shit you doing is not enough. I'm gonna fuck you up.
That's what I wanted to segue into. I was gonna say like that would be a very interesting fight because Ennis needs more people who have a chin, more people that can go the distance with him. So this would be a really good fight.
Punch and people because I'm looking at him, I'm like, yo, who the fuck did he fight that could punch? At least we know motherfucking deep. Nah, he can't punch. He fights on the balls of his feet. He don't sit on his punches. He move around a lot. We know with Villa, he could punch. He got a left hook all the way from Venezuela that'll put you on your ass.
That's the main thing. I mentioned this yesterday. I think that was my main concern because I saw Villa's record. He's 25-1 with 24 KOs. So I said, Boots he can't take this guy lightly. He's got to be on the P's and Q's the whole fight.
Bang! I was
picking him to win.
If he fight him, I like that fight. That's a good fight. Yes. You could give me Boots versus. If it's me, look, I know Thurman little whole ass ain't gonna fight no Boots, and I know Spence he ain't gonna fight him neither. I know politics will prevent the other fights. Plus, we probably ain't even got it in the budget to pay some of these motherfuckers. But what we can do, hey, let's get some. I want 3 fights for Jaron Boots Ennis. He just had 1. We're going to do the Villa next. We're going to do that. And then after that, we're going to do the Butaev. I love that schedule. That's a beautiful schedule.
There's no reason they can't get Boots on the Wilder Ruiz undercard or the Benavidez Plant undercard. There's no excuse.
Because those is guys that at least you know that he ain't no bitch. Like Butaev ain't no bitch. He might have lost to Stanionis, but he fight his ass off, and he throw punches and bunches, and he a switch hitter, body puncher. So you know, this guy could fight. He might have came up short, but it's all right. He could fight. You know what I mean? Same with Villa. But what we can't do is, man, we're going to have Boots fight at the very beginning of the year, and we don't bring him back until the 4th quarter. What happened to the middle?
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of that, I wanted to ask your opinion because I was on the channel earlier and they was talking about Boots. And I was saying that I think that Virgil, based off his resume, I would put him above Boots. And people going off the eye test saying they think Boots is better. Somebody was telling me that Boots is more skilled, and I think people confusing athleticism with skills.
I'm gonna tell you why I'm with you. Who you fighting is everything. Josh Kelly was looking real motherfucking skilled with them motherfuckers until he ran into David Avanesian. Then we seen all that shit was shit. That's what all that shit was. Just shit. Just movement for the sake of movement. What I see with Boots is a physically strong fighter with good speed, good jab, and he can switch. That's what I see. But I don't see shortness in his punches. To me, his punches actually look very wide. This dude threw a hook so hard that he spun around 2 times yesterday. Watch that shit back.
I saw that shit,
Yeah,
bro.
no, and the funny thing is,
no, but this the dude that'll tell you, yeah, my punches is tighter than Crawford. I never seen Crawford do no pot beret in the ring, bro. What the fuck was that?
No, and the difference is this: you can't test somebody's skill when they're only fighting 4 minutes most of the time. How do you know they have skill?
Also, no, you can't test nobody's skill when all you fight is unskilled motherfuckers, and that's what I see. That like. With the dudes that Virgil fighting, those ain't bitches. Egas ain't no bitch. Maurice Hooker ain't no bitch. The only reason that fight got stopped was because he broke his hand. Ain't no bitch. You gotta not like for real. I'm Salcedo, Orozco, El Maestro. Them ain't bitches. Those is good fights. And remember that Virgil only got 19 fights. He fighting these guys quick. They only got 19 fights. That's a good resume for a kid who's early 20s, only got 19 fights. That's a good resume. The eye test shit, that motherfuckers had an eye test for Lubin. I tell this story all the time. Yeah, he was looking like hot shit. I looked at him like, nah, son, Charlo gonna get him. He hasn't fought shit. Whatever you looking at is a fucking mirage. Charlo gonna get him.
And Charlo proved that too, man. He whacked him out.
It's the same shit these motherfuckers say with Fury looking, this athletic heavyweight that moves so swiftly. I'm like, bro, you fighting fucking Derek Chisora and Otto Wallin. You're not athletic.
Oh shit! Here we go. I'm not reading.
Oh, not again.
I'm not reading that shit.
I'm gonna need some context.
Look. Wait. Wait. Yo, look, Bullets. I'm gonna show you who the stalk is. Let me show you who the stalk is. All right, I got you right now. There's the stalker.
Yeah, man, you pull it up so fast.
Because I got it on file in case I ever got to pull it out. I got it on
training, bro. Serious.
You got to be quick, drop and guard with that.
Look at the time. Bullets. Look at the time on them shits, bro. Look at the time. Look at the time stamp.
Yep.
At 1:30 something in the morning, B.
In the stalking hour.
Gotta look at stamps, don't you fellas?
Based off that picture of you, Jules, I think your wife woke you up at 1:30 in the morning too.
Probably in that sauerkraut in the fucking 1:30 something in the morning. Be like, I'm saying, go play with your pussy, go play with your dominoes, leave me alone. That's all I'm saying. I ain't with that shit. I got that shit on file. Like, nah, B, you're not gonna accuse me of nothing, and I'm gonna leave it there. Bang, back to this shit. Boots is a fighter. All right. I'm not as high on him as other people. But if I'm Stephan Espinoza, I make a conscious effort to keep this fighter active because it's the only way he's going to get a fan base without the names. And we know he's not going to get the names, bro. Danny ran up to 154. Keith is not going to fight him. And Errol probably ain't going to fight him either. So if you know that's the situation, how do you get him a fan base? You got to keep him active. It's the only way.
I'm more disappointed with Danny Garcia. I knew he wasn't going to fight him. But this is a Philly versus Philly fight. Come on now, that's corny as shit.
So,
bro, but he, you know what he's Danny, the one that said no, he from Philly and I'm bro. What? He from Philly and I'm from Philly. Listen, Peter Quillen and Danny Jacobs was both from Brooklyn. They fought. What are you talking about, fam? The fuck are you talking about?
I would also like to add this. He's in the Boots is at that stage in his career where he needs more fights, not even for building up his marquee value, just because he's gonna reach his prime, and if he keeps fighting at a once a year schedule, he's gonna go past his prime and end up like an Andrade.
And the other thing is on that time that this is the other thing. You don't want to keep the guy in a perpetual state of training. You don't want to do that. And that's what he's been on. And we see, look, the dude fought once/year way back there. He comes back. He's going 12 rounds with Pikachu.
I think Jermel is next because I think he's great, but he's wasting his best years in the
Gotta
gym.
catch him. Gotta
he's wasting his best years in the gym.
So can I ask you guys? Can I ask you a question? Did you see the post conference that Boots did? Bro, he really tried to say that they didn't fight because of Crawford and Spence. Really, dude?
And that's the shit. I'm like, what does Crawford and Spence's negotiations have to do with you?
Exactly.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
I don't see Crawford and Spence's negotiations affecting Virgil Ortiz and Stanionis. I don't see them affecting any other contender. Only people it's affecting apparently are you and Keith Thurman, because Keith Thurman is apparently the #1 WBC.
When my man Conroy come back and he get on them pads, it's going to be two authorities in terms of money in the welterweight division if he so decides to return to welterweight, and he might. Because Conor, all that controversy shit, motherfuckers really don't even care about that shit. When he come back and he's selling tickets and the tickets available, people gonna buy them. And it's gonna be my man Virgil from Grand Prairie, because he with the shit, he hit hard, and he got that unibrow. Like it's some of the essays, they got the unibrow. Don't fight them, they'll fuck you up. And he got that shit, that unibrow with the wispy mustache, look like a baby Durant. Don't fight him, he'll fuck you up. All right.
Hey, that's the Neanderthal fucking unibrow, man. That means his ancestors were cavemen.
Don't fight a lot of motherfucker that got a lot of hair. That motherfucker can fight.
Unless
right?
unless he starts going with Ronnie Shields, then his he might decrease in efficiency.
Speaking of pads, Ivo, I'm waiting.
Wait. Me and Drew talked about this the other day, right? What I see, the reason I think Virgil can become a big draw is a few reasons, and I still believe that Conor Ben could be a big draw, but Ennis being on Showtime might hurt him, because Drew, what we talked about the other day, being on Showtime hurt Jake Paul. He was buzzing until he went to Showtime.
He was buzzing.
When he was on Thriller, he was buzzing. He go to Showtime, the numbers is down. This, that. It was a whole bad luck shit.
But Showtime is a dead platform anyway at this point.
Well, it's not that it's dead. It's just that Showtime is not boxing. Showtime is entertainment media.
That's what I mean. Yeah, for boxing, it's dead though. I might have missed it. Did y'all already talk about Andre?
Oh yeah.
Nah, we could talk about. I'm gonna say this about Andre. Look, I don't know what your views on Andre are, right? But I've been watching boxing. I've been watching not just boxing overall, but post-contemporary boxing long enough that I really don't have patience for him, because a lot of other guys went on to have meaningful fights that have been around as long as Andre. Like, we know Danny Jacobs, he beat Sergey Devianchenko, he beat Sergio Mora 2 times, he beat Peter Quillen in 1 round. He fought some fights. Fought Canelo, fought motherfucking Golovkin. He fought some fights. And all the guys that of that ilk that came up in that time frame, you talking about Larry, you talking about Jacobs and Canelo and Golovkin, they all had fights. Even the Charlo brothers. At least motherfucking Jamal fought Julian Williams. Mel is undisputed. And you can't tell me that at 34 years old, the reason you ain't fought shit, it's Canelo. No. You have been shooting yourself in the foot for as long as I can remember.
Oh my
God.
God.
That's the real problem.
Jules, you just repeat that again. Oh, it's Canelo. Oh, now I'm hearing Boots. Oh, it's Spence and Crawford. Why am I hearing everyone blame everyone else except themselves? Like,
that's my view on Andre, that I'm like, bro, you 34, bro. You 2 years older than Canelo. And I cannot you can't convince me that the reason your career, your resume, and everything is the way that it is because of a Canelo fight that didn't happen. It's a lot of motherfuckers that didn't fight Canelo, and they ended up having fights before they even fought him, lest we forget. Before Danny Jacobs fought Canelo, didn't he fight Golovkin? Didn't he fight Peter Quillen? Didn't he fight Pirog? Didn't he fight Sergio Mora 2 times? They fought people.
One point that I always hear the Andre supporters, all 5 of them say, I'm sorry, 6 of them, all 6 of them say, is that, we've never seen him lose a round. And I'm like, because look at who he's fighting.
I've seen him lose a round before, and I'm a supporter of him. He's lost a round before, couple. When you get knocked down, you know what happens? It's a 10-8 round until you can get that back. You've lost rounds.
I know, but you got to understand, I have yet to find an Andrade fan that has made a valid point in defending Andrade.
Ivo was not 6 of us; it's about 37 of us. Andrade.
Oh, I'm sorry, 37. You're right.
Hey yo, that's my thoughts on Andrade. What is your thoughts on Andrade's current situation?
I think even if you take the Canelo situation out, he shot himself in the foot with a bunch of other fights he could have had. If he'd have fought Lara when he had the opportunity, he would have been the first person to beat him. So that would have set him up as the quote unquote boogeyman way back in 154.
Ayo, I feel like you're hating, man. He fought Dario Fabian Puchetta back in 2015. Do you remember that? Hey, I'm just saying, man. If you think about it, man, he fought Colquet back in like 2017, and like if you really want to get into it, he had a UD decision against the infamous Alantes Fox.
And that's what I'm saying. That I'm gonna say this, right? See, I look at all the guys that came up through that era, all the guys in the different weights, and what kind of careers that they had. Because essentially, Andrade is from the Sean Porter, Keith Thurman. He's from that era, that cycle of fighters that came through and are now in the same age bracket as him, mid-30s. And I'm like, damn, Sean fought a lot of people. Kel fought a lot of people. Keith fought a lot of people. Well, not a lot, but he fought somebody. You know, he at least fought somebody. That he has signature wins, even though to me they're outdated, they're still better than what you find in Andrade's resume. And then when I look at his resume, and then I remember all the different stories, like, yo, bro, you got a reputation for shooting yourself in the foot. So you tell me what would have been better, fighting Yanni Beck for 7 figures or fighting on the undercard against a guy Berlanga beat. You made that decision. You was just on the Boxing Voice saying, oh, Yanni Beck this, Yanni Beck that. All I know is Top Rank would have gave you more money for Yanni Beck than what you just made fighting Nicholson. You're not going to tell me Al Heyman and them gave you what, $1 million for Desmond Nicholson? No way.
Bro, it wasn't even. You went to
a lot. Andrade and a lot of those guys all sat around waiting for the Canelo sweepstakes ticket instead of taking action and putting themselves in position to get to that. They all thought they could just get it, and they all tried to take the easy way out. And you know, and it killed everything in the division. You know.
I agree.
And you know what? And you know what, country, and you and Julie's right, because even if you go with a Billy Joe Saunders fight, it wasn't his fault, but him not fighting Devian Serventinko was like
some of it was his fault. Like I always say, Golovkin could have fought him. I don't forgive Golovkin for that, and that's cool. But you still didn't want to fight Lara, and you still didn't want to fight Korobov, and you still didn't want to fight Yanni Beck. And I'm like, nah, B. You can't be 34. Yeah, you still got an O. You know why you still got an O? Because you don't fight shit.
Again, if you do the Jaime, if you go the Jaime Munguia way of fighting like 40 no-name fights, of course you're gonna have an O.
You're be undefeated forever.
Yeah. For example, I made a bet with my friend. I said before Munguia gets his first loss, he will be 55-0. He's gonna surpass Floyd Mayweather. He's gonna surpass like the Joe Louis record. He's just gonna do it because he's gonna fight nobody.
I'm glad you brought up.
The bigger problem is the mentality of a lot of these guys' fans. If you tell the truth like we're telling, we're automatically translated to hating on them and this and that instead of no, we're telling the truth. We're not hating anybody. But we're stating the obvious facts.
Well, also saying this because I like boxing and I want to watch
Hold on. Let me say this. Now, let me say this. Munguia and Andrade got the same type of shit going on. What's the difference? Everybody agreed. Hold on. Everybody agreed that Munguia got a paper-thin resume. But you know what people don't say? They don't say Canelo's ducking him. That's what they don't say. But with Andrade, who got the same kind of shitty-looking resume as Munguia, oh, yeah, Canelo ducking him. But he got the same kind of shitty resume. And that's why I get angry.
You know who started that narrative, though? The Dante's Boxing Nation, all of them started that narrative. Anybody who they wanted to fight Canelo and he wouldn't, they started, oh, he's ducking Andre, he's ducking Charlo, he's ducking this person.
Well, it's all sucker shit. It's all sucker shit. The hype up fighters that look, I hate to say this, right? But the reason you don't have fans like that, it's not because of A, B, C, and D. It's because you always in fights that nobody gives a fuck about. That's literally it. If we get down to brass tacks, why don't you have fans? Or why don't you sell tickets? It's because so far you fighting a lot of fights that nobody give a fuck about. That's literally it.
Even Clarissa Shields got in on the act, though, and was trying to claim that Andrade was the best at 168 and nobody wanted to fight him.
Not getting sat on his back pocket by Nicholson, he ain't.
Let me add on to what Ayo was saying a little, like, slightly earlier. And there's one more thing that I see people do. Canelo has to fight quite literally everyone. For example, currently he's ducking Benavidez. That's like the one that mostly ducked. That they're saying right now. He's ducking Benavidez. That's the big one. Well, why is he ducking Benavidez? Well, because Benavidez was the one dude who lost his belt when Canelo went undisputed, and so hence he's ducking Benavidez now.
Yes,
bro. Listen, they want him to fight Benavidez, Charlo, Andrade, Bivol in a rematch. Meanwhile, Andrade get to fight Nicholson while he wait. Suck my dick, B.
But it's Nicholson.
Jules. Wait. Hold up. Here's the thing. Like, let's just say that Canelo fought those three people you just named, Jules, Andrade, Benavidez, and who else? What was it? And what was the one more?
Look, Jay. He could beat all three of them guys, and you know what they're going to say? He didn't fight Tyson Fury. He didn't fight Tyson Fury. He got to fight Tyson Fury.
I mean, let's say he beats those guys. Do you think they'll give him credit?
No, because they turned tail when it came. Hold on, they turned tail when it came to Caleb Plant. Motherfuckers literally picked Caleb to win that fight. I seen it. They picked Caleb to win that fight, and as soon as he lose, all right, bro.
I'll do you guys one better, Jules. Who remembers when Canelo was contemplating fighting Charlo? Oh, he's cherry picking Charlo because of his last performance.
Do y'all think that? Do y'all think
I remember
Charlo gonna fight?
I don't.
I'll be honest.
No.
I'll be honest. No. It depends on when. Look, if Charlo, let's say this, if Charlo comes back in the next 2 months, then it's possible. Why? They'll be on the same schedule, more or less. If Charlo comes back in the next 2 months, but if Charlo don't come back till the summer, then I don't really know if they're gonna fight. He has to come back soon because he hasn't fought in over a year. So you know he's gonna need a tune-up fight. You know he is. Like, yeah, he's gonna need a tune-up fight before he fight anybody that's halfway decent. And then maybe.
That means he got to fight 2024. You know they didn't fight once a year. But who do y'all think gonna win?
I would still pick Andrade because I think
Charlo's looking pretty bad. But you know what? Charlo and Andrade should have fought each other a couple of years ago already. I mean, that fight would have resurrected one of their careers at least and put them in the right direction.
Andre looked
I would still pick Andrade on the premise that one, Jamal really doesn't like southpaws and he doesn't perform well against them. And Andrade, for what it's worth, he is a southpaw. Do I think that Andrade would fight him the way he fought old boy yesterday? Nah, he wouldn't do that. He's not that fucking dumb. He was just doing that shit because that's a journeyman. His best bet to beat Charlo at this point, because they both looking kind of caca, it's a 50-50 fight. But his best bet to beat Charlo is just box. You tall, you a longer guy, use your paws, use your length, use your jab, and you can beat him. Because that dude do not like southpaws. Look at what Matt Korobov did to him. He do not like southpaws.
If Andrade really wants to make a statement right now, forget Charlo. Go fight Morel.
He's not gonna fight Morel.
I know. But I'm just saying, you want to say you're the best boxer of all time? Defeat one of the best up and comers in that division.
You're not gonna fight that dude, bro. If you think about it. If the dude got squirrely with Yanni Beck, you really think he gonna fight fucking Morel?
Hey, look at what Morel just did to his last opponent.
I know. I'm just saying, but if all the shit y'all talking, like not y'all, but like that they're talking about, like he can.
This is how it starts. This is the redundancies. Yo, Richie, he had more experience than Yanni Beck. Did he fight him? He had more experience than Parker. Did he fight him?
Hey, look, I said that as a joke, man, because if they ever stepped in the ring, Morel would kill him, and I'm not even joking. Morel hits hella hard, man, and if you play dumb...
That dude is not going to fight no motherfucking David Morel. You're going to have to give that man $8 million for that fight.
No, you're going to need more than that. Because
Richie must love Morel. Richie must be high on Morel.
No, didn't he want $10 million for, what's his name again, for Benavidez? Or was it
Benavidez? No, it was the other way around.
Oh, sorry.
Sampson wanted $10 million, and that's another thing. Like that tell you everything you need to know. You need $10 million for the Mexican monster to fight Boohoo Andrade. Really? You don't want no problem.
And it's like let's just say like, okay, this mythical 10 million. Okay, how much was Andrade going to get for that fight?
Basically, what you saying that Benavidez versus Andrade is what, a $15 million fight? A $20 million fight, really?
Hey,
them two?
Even I don't think the PBC or Showtime is that stupid to give them $15 million for fucking Benavidez versus.
Nobody that dumb, bro.
No one on this God's green earth is that stupid.
Bruh.
Right.
So I'm like, bro, those careers, that's why I look, man. The cards that get me excited, which is going to sound biased, I don't really get excited over PBC cards like at all, not even for their prospects, not really. I get excited for top rank shows and Matchroom shows. I get excited for those.
Sometimes Golden Boy. Sometimes
depending on the fight.
You working on your stand-up, huh? Talking about PBC got prospects.
No, I mean, they got Frank Martin. He did all right. Like, I ain't going to front. He did all right.
Frank Martin is almost 30, though.
I didn't know that.
He's like 27.
Oh, damn.
Yo, how you
Oh, yeah, he is.
30-year-old prospect, yo.
That's pretty bad, man.
Hey, y'all look at Blair Cobbs. He's 34-year-old prospect. Then.
Hey, put some respect on Blair the Flair Cobbs, okay?
Bro, looking at like the PBC like roster is like one of the funniest thing ever. Cause yeah, like half their roster is like 40 years old. Like they still got Luis Collazo on there.
My God, they really had Lamont Peterson fighting yesterday, bro. I thought he retired.
Yeah, he should have stayed retired. Peterson knocked out, man.
Yo,
yeah, he got knocked out by a journeyman.
Yo, my man got hurt bad, bro.
Oh,
Damn,
no, not bro. I thought Peterson. No, I'm with you. I thought he really did retire.
I thought he fucking retired, bro.
They had a defrost Abner Mares.
Well, fellas, he retired last night. He retired last year.
I think it was last year. I think they got Robert Guerrero will fight. It was either last year or the year before. And I'm like, yo, I know y'all.
Victor Ortiz, right?
My God, Abner Mares had a fight last year, bro. Abner had a fight. He got one good eye.
First, you're going to tell me Sergio Martinez is top 10 at 160, and then you're going to tell me Danny Garcia is top 10 at 160. Now y'all telling me he's still fighting? Oh, my God.
Listen, B, they probably going to will out Leonard Bundu next. It's going to be Leonard
honestly, just dig up one of the dead boxers from the 80s and put them in the ring, man. They'd make more money that way.
They're going to get Leonard Bundu, Ross Salka, and Aaron Martinez. They're going to all have fights this year, B.
They got Devin Alexander on here. This is crazy,
bro. This funny enough, you say you don't get hype for PBC shows, and here's the reason why. Because this is arguably the most stacked PBC card I've ever seen.
Yo, and you really had Ellie Nutsack. Ellie Nutsack. This is one of the best cards. I'm like, yo, bro,
Ellie
you
Nutsack.
just
wait. He called yesterday one of the best cards.
Yeah, he did.
He did though.
Oh my God.
No cat.
Oh,
bro. Honestly,
like, dude is the professional ball juggler of boxing, bro. Like his whole shit is just juggling different type of scrotums.
Oh, you can't come back from saying some shit like that.
Look, I'm with Ma on this one. I want to see Jamal versus Beevil for undisputed at 160.
how is a whole card of tune-up fights and the main event is basically a prelude? You know, like the main event, like, yeah, Garcia's okay, but it's a prelude to the other Garcia that we want to see him fight because this ain't the one. And you call that stack, bro? Like, I really hope they paying him. At least pay him to do that shit because that sucking that much dick is a full-time job. Shit.
Fellas, that card was so bad that I didn't pay and I want my money back.
Yeah, it was a $75 commercial for the Gervonta Ryan fight. That's
I'm gonna be honest with you, Ring. Even though on paper that card should have not been even close to being competitive, the fact that it turned out as competitive as it did is just indicative of the PBC. Andrade looked mediocre again. Like, even though he won all the rounds, that was what you were supposed to do. Like, if you had lost 2 or 3 rounds, that would have been embarrassing.
He got dropped.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever. But then you got Rashidi Ellis, a prospect who lost to Villa because he slept on him and because he priced himself out. Then you got Boots Ennis, who doesn't know how to cut off the ring, going 12 rounds with someone who most people can't even pronounce.
No, but you know what kills me? If that was anybody else with that same Pikachu, I don't care if it's Conor Ben, Terrence Crawford, Virgil Ortiz, any welterweight you name that ain't a PBC welterweight, they go in there with that same chicharron, and if they go 12, oh, he ain't shit. He sucks. He ain't shit. He's terrible. But Boots will go 12. Oh, like, man, y'all suck, man. Dick, be like.
But did you see Steven Espinosa's dumbass? They go, oh, aren't you feeling sorry now? Oh, these are competitive fights between Rashidi Ellis and Villa and Davis and Garcia. I'm like, yo, come on, man.
I just seen that shit, and I'm like, bro, you know what that means? That means that your stable is weak because this ain't chimichurri. If you put him in there with my man Virgil, that dude is in the hospital round 5.
The fact that I just saw fucking fanboys from the PBC have the audacity to tell me that Karim Chukatsian is better than Crawford or better than Avanesian. This is again. Let me give y'all a quick breakdown of his resume. His best fight was against the 3-star fighter back in 2016. This is Karim Chukatsian. His last fight was against the no-star.
Bruh, I'm like, yo,
and this is the man.
But I don't argue. But see, this is my thing. Because I know that they're willing to say anything, I don't debate their points. I don't bother. Like, that's the lane that you in, that you pledge fealty to a platform, so you're willing to say anything. Cool, good for you. I stay away. It's when they see me say something that they come. I'm like, bruh, you want me to pretend this dude did something at welterweight? I'm not going to do that. That dude ain't do nothing at welterweight, and neither did he by beating him. If you want to show me,
we got to throw out these hypotheticals. Oh, he beats Bud. Oh, you know. But now, listen. There's a funny thing. Not that he didn't look that good against Chupavelga. Spence cleans his up. He cleans his clock all of a sudden.
Hey,
because he didn't look too impressive. But bro, if you look at it at his style, right? I understand. Listen, Ring. I understand why you call Spence textbook. Because he could be well read.
Yeah.
And it's like, yo, he's available for him. So styles make fights.
Everything that Spence does, and I just get so sick of this era because there's so much hyperbole that, like, yo, look, I'm not telling you that Spence is bad. I'm telling you that he is basic. Like, yeah, he's basic. Like, that doesn't mean bad. That means that there's little things that you don't have. The only in-fight adjustment you make is you up the tempo after about 3 to 4 rounds. You throw more punches. That's it. Other than that, his jab is basic. His backhand is basic. He don't have good feet. I don't know why people have this illusion about his feet. Spence is flat-footed. What if I told you Kovalev got better feet than he does? He does. He can fight going forwards and backwards. How many guys actually put Spence on the back foot? Not that many. So what do you think he looks like on the back foot? I'd wager if you put him on the back foot, his ass is grass.
He's going to look like Deontay Wilder on the back foot.
I'd wager because he hasn't had that experience. The people you fighting, they go off a name value. Oh, because he fought Danny Garcia. Bro, who the fuck Danny beat at 147? Can somebody please tell me who he beat?
Didn't Ugas put him on the back foot when he nailed him that one time?
So what happened, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Danny Garcia. Who didn't he win? Didn't he beat Lamont Peterson? I think that is the only move. Did he beat Lamont at 147, or was that just a hypothetical fight?
I'm gonna tell you what. It was welterweight, but it wasn't 147. They fought at a catchweight. But remember, that's Lamont. Lamont's best days was at 40, not 47. His best days was at 40.
I think all his wins at welterweight were against 140-pounders.
You know, I was trying to play devil's.
Granados, Red Catch, Rios, Vargas. Like, you didn't beat shit, and you were there for damn near 10 years. Didn't beat shit.
It's very hard to play devil's advocate for Danny Garcia. You know, it's very hard because I can't think of a single person from 150, and he's allegedly a top 10 in 160. So, you know,
they just being nice to him because he's a slow kid. He got 6 toes.
Hey, look. I'm gonna stop you right there, Jules. I was a wrestler in high school. Okay, look. I was put against a slow kid, right? I still whooped his ass because now I have the courtesy of making you feel like a real wrestler. So you should make Danny feel like a real boxer and put him against someone who will put him in the retirement home.
He has the best footwork. Avo, he's got 6 toes. He got the extra toe to do the extra move, bro. He got the best feet.
Well, look. Realistically speaking, only person who I think is better than Danny Garcia is Montiel, because Montiel is a top 10. Well, like I heard Canelo ducked Montiel, but now this is what the sources said.
I mean, like, to me, the problem that they have, because you could turn Boots into a star, but the real problem is, one, you know, he's not a PBC fighter. That's one. So he doesn't really have access to PBC fighters. But the platform, because their relationship is backwards, that's literally why Boots finds himself in that predicament. If Showtime Sports as a platform is invested in this fighter, then ideally you put the squeeze on Heyman like, yo, you need to give us somebody, all right? I don't care if it's Danny, I don't care if it's Keith, but you need to give us somebody because we're trying to turn him into a star. Normally, the network should have some say-so over what goes on. And the way it is, it's like Al Heyman is in control of Stephan, and Stephan gets his marching orders from Al. That's what it looked like, which is why things are backwards. Ideally, if the network wants something, you got to give it to them. So if the network say, yo, we want Boots versus Danny Garcia, that's what we want because we need him to cross over. And we can't do that with these guys. You're supposed to be able to get out and make that happen, but the relationship is backwards. So moving forward, unless they're going to have Boots fight 3 times this year, I don't think he's going to go nowhere. You could win the IBF title. That shit don't mean nothing. Unless you fighting people that people want to see you fight, that shit don't mean nothing.
Fellas, like real quick, fellas, real quick. Last night on Twitter, I saw the most hilarious shit. I mean, of course it was a joke, but it made me laugh. They said that Stephan Espinoza started the disturbance in the crowd because Tank was losing.
hey, look, my scorecard was 5-3 in favor of Hector. I'm just saying. Like, I know that was not the official scorecard, but that was my scorecard.
I'm with you, Avo. I said, I know I could be off by a round, but at minimum, I seen Hector win 4 rounds.
The first 4 rounds, he had the ring generalship. He was controlling Tank. He was keeping the distance. He was being active. Like, the fact that I saw the judges only give 1 round to Hector was insane.
And that's what, you know, that for me, when they finally read the judges' scorecards because we was live or whatever, it was disheartening because I'm like, fam, like, what is even the point in watching this shit? Like, this shit is so just like
it's rigged.
It's rigged. Like, it gotta be like, bro, that dude won 4 rounds now.
It's
you know
fixed.
what I mean? Like,
it's fixed.
I didn't watch the fights.
I'm just speculating here.
But just 1 second. Like, I didn't see the fights. I saw some of the highs this morning. But if you've watched Tank in the past few years, you know he'll probably end up losing in that way. Like, he's susceptible to being outboxed. And if you've seen him, you know that.
Look, all I'm going to say is I have never seen a boxer who allegedly cannot see out of one eye go be fine in 5 minutes. Look, I don't subscribe to
down for you. He knew he got his bone broke. My man, go watch the fight. Don't believe
I remember.
Yeah.
The dude said I was seeing double, so I did this. And he literally did that. He put the glove on the eye so he wouldn't be able to see out of this shit. Like, all right, I can see now. You know what I mean? That's some real shit. And that's the difference between a top-ranked fighter and a PBC fighter. That's the difference.
Look, I'm going to say this, though. I don't subscribe to conspiracy theories. The only one I believe in is that George Bush did 9/11. I'm joking. But I don't subscribe to conspiracy theories. But that shit was really like, dude, that shit was fishy, and it wasn't the fish I was eating.
Well, I mean, there was a lot of weird things going on. I mean, the coach was looking around like he was expecting.
Yeah, the coach was looking for divine intervention.
Right, country, the coach was like this.
Yeah,
no, the coach was looking for Jesus.
Like he was waiting for a sign or something. He was literally like this in the
right,
bro.
He
in the corner. Why are you looking up?
Either that or
which coach? Who were we talking about?
Motherfucking
Calvin
Davis's coach.
Calvin Ford
with the golden girl glasses because he got the golden girl shit.
Look, and then
thank you for being a friend. Travel down the road and back again.
If you looked at him in the corner, he's like looking up and looking around like he was expecting something to go on, and it was weird.
Then
the top off. Oh, go ahead.
No, I just want to say this real quick. I'm just speculating, but like, was there any open scoring for this match?
I don't think so.
Because it's like it's just very suspect how he had blurred vision, and then in the interview post fight, he said, "Oh, his vision came back," and it's like it had me thinking, okay, did they know? Hold on, did they know that they were down by a lot, and did that prompt them to say, you know what, I'm gonna quit on my stool?
No, Virtuoso. Here's the thing. Like, a lot of suspicious shit like, not suspicious, but just weird things happen in one round. In one round, this coach was looking for Jesus Christ or the ghost of Al Heyman, whatever the fuck he was looking for on the stages. Okay, then we have the fucking Meek Mill versus Russell fucking pay-per-view event going on in the stage. All right. And then in that same round, we have him saying, "Oh, I can't see out of my eye," even though he's fine enough to talk and he's got his head down like he's in a depressed slump. Like, I don't subscribe to conspiracy theories, but even I'm like, that shit is really suspicious. And I'm not saying that maybe the shit was rigged, but I am going to say that it just didn't look right. I've been a boxing fan for almost 25 years, and that did not look right.
That shit is our fault. Let me monologue this shit. Nobody's saying that.
Yes, sir.
That's our fault for watching that stupid shit because motherfuckers really do know what time it is. No, legit. I told myself, y'all know, country, you know. I said I ain't watching that bullshit.
Yep.
I said that, and I'm like, I watch it, and I'm like, look at this just weird ass shit. I'm like, see, this is not their fault because I know what they about. This is my fault for watching this bullshit. Because really, my man at lightweight is Devin or Shakur or Loma. But it ain't Davis, so fuck him and fuck his career. Listen, if you ain't trying to fight my man Devin, I don't care anyway. Keep fighting them people that you got over there. They ain't up to scratch. They ain't Shakur. They ain't Devin. So you just keep fighting that ain't shit. Them just ain't shit. Motherfucker got double vision and quit. That's the story. Look, I don't even care about the conspiracy. If that's what you saying, all right, that shows me you're not the caliber of any Nui because that man, I was broke. And he kept fighting.
Bro, people like to give shit to Billy Joe Saunders, but look, he didn't want to quit. He wanted to get back in the ring with his fractured orbital. The corner put him out. So, like, a real fighter will I don't want to sound like a fucking Deontay Wilder, but he'll go out on a shield. He really will. Real fighters will.
I gotta train myself. It was the boxing fan in me that all the machines inside, all of the gears, it was like, it's boxing. I'm like, oh shit, I gotta watch this shit. Watch this bullshit. I'm like, see, this is my fault. It's not their fault. I know Davis' career Fugazi. I know you got a Fugazi belt. You fighting a 130-pounder in a stacked lightweight division. It's lightweights up and down this bitch. You know what you could have did that I would have set up something with George. Why? Because if you can knock out George where Devin didn't, where Tio didn't, right? I could actually respect you. I would like to respect the fight that you're having, but all your fights is bullshit. The people you fight is bullshit. You're not a part of the lightweight division because you don't want to fight the real lightweights. You want to fight a super featherweight, a journeyman, random Mexican kid who never beat nobody, and the retard, Rolly.
Look, you leave Sloth from the Goonies alone. Oh, wait, you were talking about Rolly. My bad.
I don't want to fight nobody. At least if he went in there with George, let's say, okay, George rebounds against random Australian fighter, has a rebound fight, gets back in the winner's bracket. If you told me that Davis goes in there, he fights George, and he stops him, I would legitimately give him full credit. Why? Because I know that George... He fought Devin and he fought Teofimo, and they couldn't stop him. If you stop him, okay, now we cooking with rice. But you're not going to do that.
Rolly would have won that fight if they would have let him wear his white helmet. He could have headbutted him.
Look, all I'm saying is they should have done what Minnie Mouse did in the UFC, man. Let when he fought against fucking, what was his name? Not the Muay Thai guy. 1 round Muay Thai, 1 round boxing, 1 round Muay Thai, 1 round boxing, and we would have seen Rolly Romero win. Undisputed, pound for pound, -1.
Rado the Storm says, salute, Jay. If you look at the fight, as soon as the fight resumes, before a punch is thrown, you can clearly see Tank talking to Garcia. I'm going to look at that shit. But look, this is the other thing. Look, let's say it was rigged, right? Let's just go with it because this is how my brain works. Entertain the scenario where, okay, this fight is rigged. Should you have been watching this shit? No.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, because you don't think Davis is a good fighter anyway, so why are you watching him? And that's where I say it's my fault. Because I shouldn't be watching this butter boy. Your career is fugazi. But also, he literally said, I'm the champ. He said that to Brian Custer on the Last Stand. I'm the champ at 135. No, you not. How you can't at 135? You don't got no real belt.
No. I don't look at it.
He's the 3 division champion too, fellas.
I think it's rigged from the fact that he's fighting a guy who's fought most of his career at 126. And this is not. And if he was an actual threat, this fight would not have happened. Like, so I don't have to believe a conspiracy angle. Like, it was literally set up for him.
That's what I'm saying. I'm
if you watch his fights,
both scenarios, Julio, where it's rigged or it ain't, it's still my fault because let's say it's not rigged. Let's say it's real.
It's still rigged in a way.
Yeah, like who hacked the beat at 135? Oh, nobody. All right. And watching.
It's like, okay, he beat another overhyped prospect at 130. Okay, cool. But also, like, just real quick, like, okay, if you watch his career, he's been getting bailed out by his power a lot. Like, this isn't new. This literally happens in a lot of his fights where he'll drop rounds and then his power will get him the dub.
Look at the time when he fought Mario Barrios, and look what Lawrence Ellerby said about Mario Barrios. Remember, he virtually admitted about Mario Barrios not being really a good opponent, and like, you know, he literally admitted that it was like, you know, set up. I mean,
I'll say
it's a cash grab. It's like a circus act. Like, you know what's gonna happen. Like, the strongman's gonna pick up the thing, and you're gonna.
Let me say this: in the super featherweight division, right? And this is when I really should have stopped reporting on him and talking about him altogether. This is when I really should have been like, this kid is a joke and his career is a joke. Alberto Machado had beat Jezreel Corrales, WBA super champion. Jezreel blew the weight on the scale, so the title was vacant. And we all thought that, okay, well, you know, Alberto can win the belt. Even if Jezreel blew the weight, he can win the belt. He knocks Jezreel out. 9 months later, the better portion of a year, what's the WBA do? They make the super title for Gervonta. Who does he fight for it? Not Alberto Machado. He fights a dude from featherweight that ain't fought in 2 years that lost to Abner Mares. They move him up to 30. And that's when I should have checked out, right? Like, this is a fucking joke. Y'all really gonna fuck him to award him, and this is who you're not even going to make him fight a dude in your 130-pound ranks. You letting him fight a featherweight. I should have checked out, like, bro, this dude career is a joke. Like, your career is a joke.
Well, here's what he should have done. I'm not, now mind you, I'm not in the business of telling boxers what they should do, but you just fought a 130-pounder who moved up to 135 who has a belt. Well, why don't you fight the guy who has no belt at 130 currently, and his name is Shakur Stevenson? His
career's a joke. Like the amount of time that I have spent talking about the chicanery and the tomfoolery of this butterball, it's like, yo, it's a waste. Like one, his fans are not fans of boxing. They fans of other shit that I don't give a fuck about. Like, bro, I don't care about any of that shit you saying. I don't give a fuck about none of that. That shit you whatever. They not fans of boxing because on some boxing shit, fighting Cuellar as stacked as 130 was, you fight Cuellar and they let you fight him for a belt? Wow. And so y'all just gonna fuck Alberto Machado. Nobody said nothing. And it should have been then that I say, yo, dude, and I'll say this much. That's when I knew this kid is never gonna fight nobody. He's not. He's not gonna fight nobody that you want to see him fight. He's not. Because the amount of chicanery, for lack of a better word, associated with his career, it's irreprehensible, bro. Now, you got my man Devin. He fought George, did the thing. He about to fight Loma. That's the only motherfucking shit I care about. Fuck Gervonta Davis, bro. That dude is fake as fuck, and he's already punch drunk anyway.
That's what I don't get. Because like people say that's just the way he talks. No. Because I remember him in like, how are you punch drunk from fighting nobody?
Well, people have said it. Like, he's spent a lot of his years in the gym sparring hard. Like, a bunch of trainers have said it. But listen, I've watched enough pro wrestling to know a rigged game when I see one. And that's what this shit is.
It's just pro wrestling. Country. Go ahead, Julio.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, I've watched enough pro wrestling to know, like, some shit that's fixed when I see it. And, like, yeah, that's what this is. And I'm not saying there's a conspiracy behind it, but it's just, like, everything is a cash grab with this dude. It's all performance and it's nothing else. Like, we're never going to get those. I don't know if we're ever going to get those big fights, but we're definitely going to get more fights where it's like Tank is the circus act, where he's like, come see Chris Angel or some shit. Come see Tank knock out another can.
Hey, Julio, I forget. Oh, I'm sorry, but before Country Sparks, was it Julio who said this, or was it Jules who said this? They don't sell Tank as a box; they sell him as a lifestyle. I forget who said that. Was that? I know someone said that.
Somebody did. It wasn't me. Somebody else did say that.
Because I like that comparison. Because they don't sell him as a boxer. They sell him as like this, like, oh yeah, he's a poor kid from like the shit neighborhood who made it.
If he's the boxing equivalent of the Harlem Globetrotters, that's what he is. Like, you're not real NBA. You a Harlem Globetrotter. You a show. You a act. Like, you're not really competing. Like, look, in the NBA, you play for the chip. You know what I mean? You're not playing for the chip because you're not trying to be undisputed. You happy with a baby belt. You happy with a baby belt. You really out here trying to get people to call you a champion with a baby belt. Bro, go ahead. You a Harlem Globetrotter, B. Go ahead. You're not even like you're not.
And then they're saying the belts don't matter. Like when they say, "Okay, fight Devin," then he's like, "Oh, the belts don't matter." Like, come on.
Right?
So why are you being promoted as a champion?
You out here calling yourself a champion with a baby belt. Yo, he really told Brian Custer, "I'm your champ." I watch that. I'm your champ.
If the belts don't matter, why are you in the ring with holding that fucking Reggie WBA belt? And why is this fight being sold as like a title fight?
Julio
Julio
his goal is the El Pollo Loco belt, man. I'm telling you.
Well, Julio, AJ, you guys got to understand the belts don't matter when Devin had them, but they mattered when Kambosos had them.
That's Ryan. That's not even Javante. I ain't going to front. Javante told George, I don't care about your belts. He was in a car. I did a video about it. He was in an SUV. Said, I don't care. I can't tell.
Leonard said it when he was promoting him. Before he had to sell his PlayStation because Tank left, he was saying like, "Oh yeah, the belts
don't matter." Oh shit! He said he had to pawn the station. Let me read the super chat. If anyone could rig a fight, this Heyman, because his fighters won't be able to talk about the rigging or bad about Heyman. It's written in their contracts. That's right, non-disparagement clause, gag order. Tank Spence show is a modern day. Yo, I really feel that way though. Like, I don't say that for comedic value. I'm dead serious that they are not a part of the world of boxing. Like, they're not. Like, the shit they doing, like, no, they're not a part of the world of boxing. In the world of boxing, it's an overall goal. What y'all trying to create for yourself is a biosphere, and that's never going to work because you really isolating yourself. Why I fuck with Matchroom? I said it before. Because the A side might lose. Yeah, they might lose, man. Katie Taylor came close to getting knocked the fuck out. AJ did get knocked the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? Warrington lost on the cards to Luis Lopez. That's a contest. That's what
Canelo lost to Bevel.
That's fights.
Right.
It's not like, Jules, bro, Errol at the Cowboy Stadium, that's Chris Angel's residency in Vegas. Like, it's Chris Angel's at a fucking casino, bro. Like, we know what's going to happen.
Like,
It's a Vegas show gimmick, but like I'm just saying, like this idea would have worked like in 1995 instead of 2015 because there's this thing called the internet, right? That exposes a lot of boxing, right, to a lot of people from around the world. And so when you try to create this like this different like the alternate reality that these guys are champions, these guys fight the best, these guys are living the lifestyle. And then it's feast and famine, trying to create that narrative between, when you have the YouTubers, but then you see the fights and you see how these guys are living. And it's like, wait a minute, something's a mess here. It doesn't seem like it all seems like how these people just crack it up to be. And and there goes the illusion. It's done.
Well, again, I had a formula for math when it comes to PBC pay-per-views. Why? So we're gonna do a little math. We'll go back to kindergarten math. We'll have Y. Y is the actual pay-per-view number. Y equals X, the projected pay-per-view number minus 100,000 buys. That's how I always look at PBC fights.
They fudge their numbers. Look, before I close it out, what we got to do moving forward as a collective is we don't even talk about them fights. Like, well, let's put it this way: the night of the fight, because this is what I should have did yesterday. To be real with you, I kind of sold out and watched it, and I'm like, bro, why am I watching this trash? Like, this shit is garbage. This shit is haraka. A card of tune-up fights. Your average top-ranked card is more ambitious than this shit. I should not be watching this shit. And that's what I'm going to do moving forward. Unless Ryan is next, I'm not watching that shit. Now, if Ryan is next, I'm going to buy it. I'm not going to lie. If Ryan is next and they do it,
You'll have my money. It's that simple. Just make the fight.
Yeah, just 1 second. Like, you know, like back in like the 50s and 60s, like these French directors all got together, right? And they're like, these filmmakers, they're like, all right, we're all going to abide by these principles so we can change cinema. We're all going to collectively work together and we're going to abide by certain principles so that we can stop, you know, so we can like challenge cinema and create new shit. I feel like the people on like YouTube and like what they call new media, real new media, I think yourself and a bunch of other creators should just get together and say, look, we're not going to cover these bitch ass cards anymore. Like these non-competitive cash grabs, we're just not going to cover them anymore.
Legit, because I'm like, the mistake that I keep making is I feel like I'm giving them air when I don't need to be arguing about no Davis because he's not never going to fight the people that I want him to fight. And that's what makes arguing about him, you know, or even discussing him a redundancy when Devin is delivering for the fans, B. He beat the motherfucker that smacked up Teofimo. Didn't he do that? He did that. Yeah, now what he about to do? He about to fight Lomachenko. That's who need the airplay. That's who need to get talked about. Not no motherfucking Butterball who veneers is too big for his mouth. Fuck out of here. So, and on that note, gentlemen, I'm going to close it out, and I will see y'all on the next one.
Can I just say one thing? Let me say one thing. I will pay for Tank's next fight regardless because I will pay $80 to watch him in that court case. Good night, guys.
Have a good night. Night, Joe.